morning. This is Murph and Marcus. Brian Murphy and Marcus the Waterboy Boucher. Streaming live at twitch.tv/The Sports Leader. Sponsored by Bigelow Tea. Grab a mug and tea proudly.
It's been on our soundboard for a while, and it's the only way to open the show. I'm not going soundboard. I'm going live. I'm going live. I'm going live. I'm going Warriors! Warriors! Oh, my goodness. Did they entertain us or what last night? They came from the dead. They were dead on every level. The season was dead. The game was dead. The roster was dead. The fans were dead, except for those who believed and were in Intuit Dome last night, including our guy Ben from SoCal. Remember that guy Ben? We got a call. Maybe there it is. That's the Ben left. Maybe we should have known that when Ben from SoCal called us yesterday, that something was afoot. That yes, the magic word particles were afoot. When Ben from SoCal called, we were like, "Really? You're going to that game to watch the Warriors just kind of peter out and head to the lottery?" No lottery, my friends. No, that goes to Oklahoma City. We'll talk about that later. Yeah. But yes, my friends, if you missed it, and maybe there are people out there that don't know, maybe you gave up. Maybe you gave up. Maybe you didn't even watch because you gave up. Maybe you didn't watch because you couldn't figure out the game was on Amazon Prime. Maybe you didn't watch because they were down 13 in the fourth quarter, but the Golden State Warriors beat the Los Angeles Clippers last night in unbelievably thrilling fashion. We'll call it in just a minute. But my guy to my right, Marcus Boucher, I'm out here screaming Warriors. You're out here living Warriors at Thrive City. My man, as they like to say about Warrior expert JD, boots on the ground. My man, Marcus Boucher, boots on the Thrive City ground. You never stopped believing, buddy.
Never.
Good morning.
Murph,
yes.
Good morning, my man. Yes. And really, I don't even want to start the show by saying good morning. I just want to start the show by saying thank you, Steph Curry. Thank you once again. Unbelievable performance last night. Also throw in a thank you, Draymond Green. A thank you, Al Horford. A thank you, Kristaps Porzingis. A thank you, Guy Santos. And even a Sideshow Pods, everybody's favorite Warrior.
Get the gold 10, baby. Give me the gold 10.
Last night for one night and one night only. In the words of Steve Kerr, felt like champions again.
He did, man, dude. Kerr had some big things to say after this game, including a pounding of the table. It was almost a going 99. I hate to give an obscure reference this early in the morning, but 99 Ben Crenshaw Ryder Cup. I got a good feeling about this. He at the end of this night last night, he pounded his table. This is who he is. This is what he does. I mean, he said some big stuff. He said we're champions again. He said this win is, in all the wins they've ever accumulated, this one's right up there. It's like, whoa, because we do have to, and I'm not trying to be the cynical radio guy. We have other people who can do that in our rotation. But it was a 9-10 playing game.
Yes,
I mean, we do have to remember that, right?
Yeah.
They got to go to another one Friday. But for all that it's symbolized, like everything they've given us since I'd say 2015, but even a little bit before that, when they first started making the playoffs in 2013 with Mark Jackson back in the day. That's where I got a Mark Jackson reference before 6:05 today. It was like a gift. Like you said, thank you. Like a gift to remind, like every single person who watched that game was moved in some way. And whether moved out of excitement for the basketball game or hopes that maybe something miraculous is going to happen, which we can talk about maybe tomorrow or something, but mostly moved maybe for nostalgia. Like Kerr was like you just said, for one night we're champions again.
Yeah,
it's like, whoa,
sounds ridiculous from a franchise that has won multiple titles. We're talking about 4-time champions celebrating a play-in game like it was a Game 7.
Yeah.
But for one night, you saw vintage Steph Curry. You saw vintage Draymond Green.
Wow.
Putting the clamps on Kawhi Leonard in the fourth quarter.
Somebody,
like the two pillars of this dynasty were the reason why they won last night in the fourth quarter.
I wonder if Clay watched that and see the Clippers, that geeky student section they have that was trying to hold up pictures of Clay saying, "Do you miss me?" or something. I'm like, that's kind of missing the mark. But listen, as much as we miss Clay, he has not been a talking point at all for like a year and a half. But anyway, I wonder if he was watching that last night. I wonder if he texted his boys. Well, actually, we know he didn't because he goes dark like no other.
He doesn't text anybody.
He goes dark on a Boucher level. So
good man.
But yes, dude. In fact, somebody said on the way in, one of the many talking heads I was listening to, and I nodded in my car, best defensive quarter of Draymond's career.
Wow.
I think I nodded my head. I think so. I don't think I've ever noticed him so. His defense was almost as noticeable as Steph's scoring.
Yeah. As
Horford's scoring. It was incredible to watch what he did in the fourth quarter.
He held,
my eyes were glued to him.
He held Kawhi Leonard to 2 points in the fourth quarter.
Essentially to zero.
Dude, yeah,
Kawhi
exactly.
scored a garbage layup with 16 seconds left when they had kind of stopped defending because they were up 6 or 7. And they were just like, let's run clock. So basically, let's call it a shutout.
I mean, he took him out of the game in the fourth quarter. Just like ball denial, not even letting Kawhi get involved in the offense in the fourth quarter.
Dude, Revis Island, Draymond Island, Day Island, Day, my cousin. Bro, and I wound up watching him. I was fascinated because I was like, is he going to continue to lock this guy up every possession? And the answer was yes. And then it was capped by 2 spectacular plays. One was when it was still a tie game, or was it a 3-point game on the inbound play? I think it was a 3-point game on the inbound play where you just watched him. He was almost wrestling with Kawhi, and the refs were letting it go. And for some reason, I forget who was inbounding for the Clippers, tried to get the ball into Kawhi anyway, and Draymond said, abso-blank-and-lutely not. And while wrestling him with his left arm, was able to rise up with his right arm and not just tip it away, but tip it to a teammate. It was to Pajemski for the goaltend.
Yeah.
So it was 120 to 117. Then just for 123 to 117. Yeah, you're in pretty good shape, but it's not over. It's the NBA. Guys can hit 2 threes, right? And the straight pick. Not just the pick, though, Marcus. He picks him at half court or just inside of half court, then hits the effing floor at age whatever. How old is he? I don't know. How banged up is he? I don't know. But going to the floor, even the lovely Candace, my bride, said, that's what your dad has told you to do for years.
Yes.
Get on the floor. I was like, I said, at least she listened. You know what I mean? So just an incredibly inspirational performance from Draymond, almost eclipsing Steph. Because really, as great as Steph was, you could argue that Al Horford's threes were almost more important than Steph.
Bro, and I got to say, Thrive City was going nuts every single time Al Horford was jacking up three-pointers in that fourth quarter.
You mean when he went 4 for 4 down the stretch as they overcame? Because it was basically a 9-point game when Horford started going off. And he hit every single one he had to hit.
Dude, probably my favorite moment yesterday at the watch party. After that fourth three-pointer they hit, some dude just started doing the Naruto run, around the watch party. He was just running around full speed with his arms behind his back. I was like, this is a vibe right now.
Totally.
This is a moment. This is why you brought in Al Horford.
Yeah.
This is why you brought in Kristaps Porzingis. These are the guys who you built your roster to be a 16-team kind of team what Draymond Green was talking about
16
yesterday.
Game,
16-game team, thank you. Throw out the regular season out the window. If you get these veterans in a do-or-die situation, a March Madness type of game, it's dangerous for anybody.
And if anybody remembers our soundboard from back in the day, because don't nobody want to see that psycho from the Bay. I mean, that's exactly what that guy now about, I don't know how many years ago it was, that the Lakers looked like they were going to face the Warriors in the playoffs, and some guy in his car, because that's what people do, they film themselves in their car with their seatbelt on, was talking about how he was a Laker fan and how he was, kind of laying out the map and how he was fearful that the Warriors were going to be the team. He said, because don't nobody want to see that psycho from the Bay. We cut that. We used that. How many years did we use that? Who has that?
That was at least 4 or 5 years ago. It's in the Z Drive. But Young Tony can find it. Give it to me, Young Tone.
We in trouble right now, and don't none of us want to see that psycho in the Bay. We don't want to see that psycho in the Bay in a play-in game. I'm telling you.
Well, that guy was in my head last night because I was like, that's why that guy recorded that thing in his car, because none of us want to see that psycho in the
Steph
Bay.
is still a psycho at age 38,
Oh, my
man.
God, dude. The 117 to 117 3, where he and Draymond had a little two-man game that, as Sam Gordon writes about in the Chronicle, just the only way that can be executed is two guys who've been playing together and won championships together for all those years. But Steph still has to make the freaking shot.
Yeah,
and he has to make it while going out of bounds and falling into the crowd. And I mean, he absolutely took out a spectator. And there was a guy filming the whole thing. And, of course, my kids are so camera-centric. Declan's like, oh, my God, that guy has incredible I can't wait to see that footage of that guy. And sure enough, that guy posted it. So I did see it. Steph, when he goes into the crowd, you think he's talking mess to the crowd. He's not. He's being Steph. He's making sure the person's okay before he runs. He's like, you okay?
Yeah.
You okay? I'm like, Steph, no, dude. Who cares about that guy?
Right? In the video I saw was the guy just screaming, put him to bed, Steph. Put him to bed.
Dude.
Put him to bed.
He didn't hit a night last night.
I was surprised he did not after that big
When
three-pointer.
could he have hit? Well, because it only made it 121-17. He could have done it after the Draymond steal, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. Somebody should have. But anyway. Hey, guys, if you're wondering, they got another one Friday, in case you don't know.
Which, you know what that means? Somebody's got to get Ben down to Phoenix. Our guy Ben was in the building yesterday. He's got the particles. I need him in Phoenix on Friday night.
If anybody missed it, we had this caller yesterday. I don't know if he's ever called before. I just don't remember him, Ben in SoCal. And he was kind of just came on, wanted to talk Warriors and said he was going to go to the game. I'm like, you're going to the game, huh? And I forget I don't remember the throwaway line I had. I just offered him a dime store bit of comedy, and his reaction was... He was incredible. That's only... You got it again? Let me hear it again.
Yeah.
And that's the moment everything changed.
And he was there last night, and he blew me away when he told me that every seat at the Intuit Dome has his phone charger and a plug. And by the way, Ben was not alone last night.
No.
Oh, my God. I don't know if you've seen it on Twitter or social media, the Warriors chants. I mean, I don't know if Amazon Prime picked up some of it. The raw footage from the stadium was even more intense. And pictures of guys around there was any number of guys and gals they were showing in the crowd that were losing their minds. So, and it's the Clippers, dude. Of course, the Clippers. The Clippers going to Clipper.
It's the Clippers, but Murph, it gave me big time vibes of SoFi Stadium when the 49ers go down and take over Levi South.
100%.
Like that's how the Intuit Dome felt yesterday.
In fact, I took some measure of satisfaction that in some way this was our answer to what the Dodger fans do. Did I just mention baseball?
Oh, come on.
Did I just mention
we were trying not to mention baseball in the opening
By the way,
segment.
we'll leave it at this. Biggest Warrior fan in the Bay, Tony Vitello. Yes. Go, Steph. Go.
Oh, yeah.
Go, Al Horford. Go.
Dude, Tyler Malley was loving every minute of that game last night.
Or Greg Johnson, maybe, perhaps, a huge Warrior fan. That just brought everybody down. Let's get back to the Warriors. Okay, I got one dumb question. Explain it to me like I was 5. Somebody. No Porzingis down the stretch. He didn't play in the final 5 minutes. And they opted for Guy Santos. Is that a defense thing? Is that a energy thing? I don't know. I was just kept thinking, I'd like to see Porzingis out here. He might be able to make a big bucket. Now, I don't know. It could very well be that he's not as nimble on defense as Guy Santos. And if that's the answer, then so be it. Santos did have at least one steal down the stretch, as I remember.
Yeah, Guy had a great night.
And I remember him grabbing a rebound, too. Porzingis did not exactly crash the boards, but... Boy, you'd kind of like that weapon out there down the stretch, but they chose to keep him on the bench. And I don't know if somebody out there, if any of the listeners, listen, I'm no expert. If you guys have a theory as to why they kept Porzingis on the bench down the stretch, but hey, it worked.
Was it part of the minutes restriction? But that was kind of thrown out a little bit with Steph Curry, who played 36 last night.
We should follow up on that in the sense that it was the talking point for 2 days whenever we did talk about the Warriors because we've been so focused on the giant collapse and a little bit on the NFL draft too. But we kind of treated this play-in game sort of lightly going in. I mean, we had Kevin Harlan on yesterday. We made it our quote-unquote big hit yesterday, and that's when Ben and SoCal called in. But the one thing we said was what about this minutes restriction? And we were kind of like rolling our eyes like, geez, the Warriors aren't even going to try. Well, Steph winds up playing 36 minutes, guys.
Don't tell it to Steph Curry. He was not coming off that court yesterday, and that's even when he left the court early in the first half.
Did we ever get an explanation?
And went to the locker room.
Dude, I was on Twitter. And I mean, people were freaking out. I was looking for somebody that had information that I didn't have, and somebody just wrote, please tell me Steph has to go take a mid-game. You know what I mean?
Yeah, pull Lamar Jackson.
And he'll be right back. And then when he came back, it's not Allie LaForce. It's another Allie for Amazon Prime.
Okay.
She said, Steph just said to me, don't worry about me. I'm fine.
Oh, I was worried.
So I know, but I'm saying, so what did that mean? What did he do?
No idea.
Did anybody get an answer?
No idea.
But it looked like a death knell.
It was strange.
It was a death knell.
I thought the season was over.
He's walking down the tunnel and we're like, that's it.
Yeah.
It's over. So much for the minutes restriction.
And there he is to save the day in the second half.
So Porzingis did wind up only playing 28. Somebody said he did twist his ankle. 707 said that.
Yeah, there was a moment, second, third quarter maybe, where he kind of limped up a little bit with his ankle.
That could have been it. that could have been it. But either way, like we said, it worked. And by the way, it's so funny. We spend the whole season watching them play these meaningless games. Pat Spencer's out there all night. Charles, you didn't see those guys?
No.
Those guys did not play.
I got my 8, and these are my guys.
Yeah, there it is, man. So to say it was fun is an unbelievable understatement. Ain't dead yet. We'll be talking about it all morning. Marcus has a Thrive City rally towel.
Yes, I do.
You got to love the marketing of the Warriors.
In the
and by the way,
studio.
I don't know, let me ask you guys. What like fills your heart with more joy? Seeing Steph Curry do this in the year 2026, knowing that in the midst of like all sorts of, craziness, like the same way I felt about seeing Bruce and the E Street Band Monday night, like heartened and grounded by these guys. Are you more grounded and heartened and brought peace by the side of Steph, or by the side of Raymond freaking Ritter, front and center after every game, just right there guiding Steph, hand on the small of the back, pointing him this way, paper in his left hand, pointing him that way? And I'm like, who's as important to this scene as Steph? Raymond. Mm-hmm. Raymond's as important to this scene.
I get worried when I see Raymond go to the locker room during the middle of the game.
Dude, he would never.
Yeah.
He would never. I mean, there it was in the middle of all the mayhem. The coolest guy in the building was Raymond Ritter.
Of course he was.
All right, too much fun. And oh, by the way, we got to cram this fun into a short show because I hate to tell you this. That's right, I said it. I hate to tell you this. The Giants play at 9:40 this morning.
Uh-oh.
We can get it over early, get it over with quick. So as the great DJ Rob B, let's just get this year over with. Let's just get this season over with. Let's say good morning to young Tony on the other side, get the guest list, and Warriors. You got the original there, buddy?
Oh, I got it for you, Murph.
That's what I was. Warriors. I think I was telling a story of walking into the arena. Was it the day the Niners beat the Rams in the playoffs, and we watched it on the GOTS TV, and then we went inside, and people were just chanting Warriors? Was that it? I think that was it.
Sounds about right.
I think so.
I'm guessing one of our listeners is going to confirm that story.
Well, they will for sure. All right. Happy Warrior Day on The Sports Leader.
Now, from the O'Donnell Financial Group Sports Desk. Learn more at odfigroup.com. O'Donnell Financial Group, because planning is a process, not a product. It's time for the Young Tony and John Joe question of the day.
The question of the day. What was your favorite part of the Warriors' 13-point comeback win over the Clippers last night? Was it Steph Curry down the stretch, Al Horford's 4 3-pointers in the fourth quarter, or Draymond Green putting the clamps on Kawhi Leonard? 808 KNBR is the number. Give us a call, shoot us a text, or let us know your thoughts in the YouTube chat.
Yeah. And now it's time for the Protect Your Assets Business and Technology Report with me, David Hollander.
Now back to Murph and Marcus on The Sports Leader. Streaming live on thesportsleader.com and KNBR. The Sports Leader app. Murph and Marcus is sponsored by Bigelow Tea. Grab a mug and tea proudly.
Horford, three for the lead. Got it! The Warriors' first lead since the second quarter. It's Steph Curry. Time is on it. Curry, three, good! 34 for Curry. Mathurin to inbound. Oh, look at the defense. Green, steal, Pajumski. Oh, he can't get it at the doorstep. And a foul. They hit 19 threes. Here goes Jones. They let him drive. He puts it down. Green will inbound quickly to Horford. Kawhi can't knock it away. Pajemski is there. The Warriors have won. The Golden State Warriors have won.
Just a beautiful display of competitive will. Everybody out there who thought Steph should have taken the rest of the year off. This is what he does. This is who he is. If he can compete, he's going to compete. And it was just incredible to watch.
Hey, my goodness, sports, everybody. Look what sports does for us. And this is a time when I will mention the Giants because I know, don't get mad. It will end positive. But this is why we love sports, because what did the Bay Area feel from 3:40 to 6:30 last night? Disgust, nausea, rage, apathy, surrender. These are all the words that we felt from 3:40 to 6:30. Then, what did you feel from 7 to, damn near 10 o'clock last night?
Yeah.
I know by the time I hit the rack, you felt, well, a little excitement, and then a little curiosity, and then a little anticipation, and then a little excitement, and then a lot of excitement, and then you felt frickin', well, Marty Lurie told you what you felt. You felt
it's orgasmic.
That's what you felt, dude.
Yeah, you did.
I mean, I had the whole family watching, and openly everyone was shocked and surprised, cheers building in the final 5 minutes. Like, everybody was thrilled. We were all thrilled. Everybody was like, It was just so, and you're at Thrive City.
Dude, and it was a vibe down at Thrive City. And it's funny, too, because yesterday, young Tony hopped on the mic and asked us, like, what's your level of excitement for this game? And we were riffing because Draymond Green told us last week that he wasn't excited for this game. And I said, yeah, I'm about like a 3, a 4, maybe a 5, but even as I was working through my answer, I started to give it more and more levels of excitement because Steph Curry was on the court. And I even said in my answer yesterday, after saying I'm at about a 5, Steph Curry can go out and win this game. Steph Curry can go out to Phoenix and win that game. I also riffed about them eventually losing to OKC, but that's a lot further down the road. But it's just like, there I was riffing about how I wasn't even excited for this game. And then there I am, boots on the ground at a Thrive City watch party, running around, waving a towel, watching dudes do Naruto runs after Al Horford hits 4 threes in the fourth quarter.
Now, Naruto is?
Anime, Murph.
Anime, okay.
It's anime.
I liked it.
George Kittle has made references. A couple other athletes have as well.
I just like the look.
Yeah,
Yeah, I like the look.
Which there was always like that one kid in high school who'd just be like running down the hallways, like with his backpack over his head and his arms behind his head, just sprinting around.
I like the look. And the guy who did that at Thrive City deserves a shout.
Dude, he was having the time of his life.
Man, and it was a great question from what did young Tony ask yesterday, because it did put us on the spot, and we were forced to say, yeah. And I said, I would have told you a 4. I said, but the Tuesday night playing games were so exciting that I kind of am a little juiced, and I moved it up to a 6. So I literally went into that game at a 6, bro. And you got Steve Kerr at the end of the game pounding the table, calling it one of the great wins of the dynasty run. I mean, man, oh man, that talk about, I don't want to call it recency bias, but that's for a guy who's been around, for a guy who's won championships with Michael frickin' Jordan, man. I mean, he's seen some stuff. That's a guy, I think when he says something like that, that's a guy who for 82 games has been mentally beat up, mentally exhausted, stressed, hating the position they're in, never had the team he wanted, had to see Steph on the bench for 20, sees Jimmy Butler. And oh, by the way, let me digress right now. Jimmy. I got to thank Jimmy just for A, being there, B, looking cool, and C, giving to what my 18-year-old said will be an instant meme, and credit to the Amazon Prime guy who cut to him. After Steph hits that three and the Clippers called timeout, the cut to Jimmy coming off the bench, I can't even, the hat's pulled low, the brim is bent, and the smile and the nod, and the smile and the nod and the smile. It was like, you couldn't have gotten a better meme than Jimmy coming off the bench saying in his head, that's my Batman. That's my dude. Oh, look at you, bro. Yeah. It was like such a great facial. It's like an actor. DiCaprio, Denzel, Hanks. Nobody could have produced the look that. Do you see it?
I'm looking at it right now. It's going to be used as a meme probably by Thanksgiving this year. When that plate sees me coming for seconds at Thanksgiving. Mm-hmm,
that's what you're looking at.
Yeah, like that's that type of look. You're absolutely right. It's a phenomenal look.
That played a role in my fun last night. I miss Jimmy. I he's so much fun, and he's so cool, and his aura is off the charts. And even when he's in his street clothes, he provided that moment. There it is. And I just yelled when I saw that. I go, "That's his Batman! That's his Batman!" So anyway, too much fun, everybody. Let's get the guest list here on a Thursday, April 16, 2026. Yeah, we're going to have to call it in. We'll do it on the other side because of the time. Guest list is sponsored by El Cerrito Honda, more than just a car dealership. We're family, and here's a member of our family. Somewhat. Yeah. Young Tony, good morning, brother. Good morning.
Right, brother from another mother. I got you.
Yeah. What's up, Young Tony?
You know what I mean. How you doing, buddy?
Solid. Can't complain, man. Yeah, everything's good.
And how'd the Warriors treat you, bud?
It was really fun to watch. Really, really fun to watch. I think we all kind of had low expectations going into it, and we were all pleasantly surprised. You know, not to be the buzzkill here, but it is a play-in game. Let's not get too excited. They didn't freaking win the championship last night.
Okay.
Don't tell it to Steve Kerr.
Somebody had to come in at 6:30 and say it. You're right.
I have to be that guy.
Well,
yeah.
My tweet was, I said, never underestimate the heart of a champion. That had an asterisk, and I said, or the heart of a 10 seed.
The heart of a playing game to not even get into the postseason.
And there was a lot. You're right, Tony. There's a lot of psychology going on here as to why Kerr reacted the way he did, why Curry reacted the way he did. There's a lot. Fading dynasty, hearing the chatter, being told you're dead.
Seeing how the last 3 months played out without Steph Curry on the court.
There's a lot going on, but at the same time, also still knowing intellectually in your brain it was a playing game. So there's a lot going on. There's a lot of psychology. There's layers going on here, buddy.
But they got another shot. They got another shot to make the playoffs and actually have a chance to win a championship, which is going to be an uphill battle, but, a chance that they have, and we'll see what happens on Friday. Suns, man. You guys got a game plan on the Suns right now?
The Valley of the Suns.
Bring them on. I actually was doing some early read. Devin Booker, their leading scorer. Don't forget Dylan Brooks, bro. We're back. It could be they might just put the octagon in the middle of the court and let Dylan Brooks and Draymond go at it.
Is back in our
we might
lives.
just clear out the court, put the octagon down, and have Dylan and Draymond go at it. See what happens.
I'll take it.
Jalen Green, remember the Houston Rocket who got traded there as their third leading scorer. And then, dude, it goes a couple of white guys coming. Grayson Allen, Colin Gillespie.
Okay.
Not former Warrior Giant prospect Connor Gillespie, who hit the triple off of Aroldis Chapman. Still one of the best at-bats I've ever seen in my life.
I always like Connor Gillespie.
And then the big guy from Duke, Mark Williams. Those are their top 6 guys. I mean, you can beat those guys. Sure, you can beat those guys.
After last night, they look like they can beat anybody.
I mean, I'm sure the Suns don't want to see that psycho in the Bay. Why would you want to play him in a playing game?
That was one of my tweets before I went to bed. Phoenix Suns don't want to see that.
We're in trouble right now, and none of us want to see that psycho in the Bay. We don't want to see that psycho in the Bay in a play-in game. I'm telling you.
That guy deserves a lot of credit. Is there a date on that sound?
I'm telling you.
Oh,
that must have been 2021-ish.
Because the Warriors didn't do play-ins from 15 to 19. Then 20... No. They were terrible.
Yeah, and I was on the show when that
I'm going to
happened.
say that play-in 2021? 21.
That sounds right. Yeah, the first year that it happened. Yeah.
Ain't nobody want to see that cycle.
All right, but what do we got?
All right, well, a guy who was down there, boots on the ground, John Dickinson, working overtime. Did Dubs OT last night. He's going to do Papa and Silver, I think, after the Giants game, but he's going to first come on with us at 6:50 this morning to talk about the big win last night. We're going to do cooler content at 7:15, break down a lot of the Warriors sound last night. Larry Bear going to join the show at 7:30. Discuss what's going on with the Giants. That'll be fun. And then Matt Mayoko at 8:15 this morning. And then, hey, Giants-Reds, we got another game today. First pitch, 9:40.
Do you have the Chris Russo Giants baseball fun?
Fun.
Because you said, yeah, that'll be fun.
Yeah, we haven't played that in a while.
That's what you said.
Yeah.
That's what you...
The Giants, fun.
Once more, please. I need it.
The Giants, fun.
Are they? 650, John Dickinson, the biggest Warriors fans in the world, the San Francisco Giants. JD at 650. Let's hear what they had to say after the game last night. We got to call it in, my gosh, on the Sports Leader. We have all the sound out up. It's all in Curry. It's all in Kerr's, Curly's boxes here.
Now back to Murph and Marcus on the Sports Leader. Streaming live on thesportsleader.com and KNBR. The Sports Leader app. Murph and Marcus is sponsored by Bigelow Tea. Grab a mug and tea proudly.
More than anything, I'm just so proud of the guy. We must have been down double figures 5-6 separate times, and we came back every single time we made a run. It was such an incredible display of guts and competitiveness and connection. And obviously, Steph and Dre kind of took over down the stretch. Dre's defense, he's the best defender I've ever seen in my life. It's just insane what he does out there. The job he did on Kawhi, I thought our coaches did a really good job with the game plan to blitz Kawhi and try to put a crowd around him. And so the preparation was good, and the players really followed through. And for one night, we're us. We're champions again, And I know that may sound crazy to everybody out there. It's a play-in game. I don't care. It's just absolutely beautiful to watch.
Yeah, that is a guy who was just feeling a lot of stress and a lot of angst and a lot of doubt about the team and the fading dynasty, just soaring back to the mountaintop last night. Steve Kerr does not usually kind of get caught up in grandiose statements like that because it was a 9-10 playing game. We kind of have this in the shadow. We don't want it to ruin everybody's buzz because it was such a great experience, but it caused Kerr to make some big statements last night. And again, not... Believe me, you guys know me. At least I try not to be a buzzkill. I know some people, when they hear me, they hear buzzkill. But generally, I'm optimistic. I'm the guy who does this date in Giants history. They win all those games, all right? But he said he's the best defender he's ever seen. And believe me, Dennis Rodman made 7 All-NBA first-team, all-defense teams. So, I mean, he was around him. So sometimes, you get caught up in the moment.
Also,
because I think it's almost, objectively speaking, Draymond did not make 7 first-team All-NBA defense teams. I don't think so.
He's got a chance to be 10-time All-Defense. I think that's first and second
team.
Yeah, first or
second.
second. But yeah, not all first team.
I mean,
like
Dennis Rodman is like the
worm.
Dennis Rodman was one of the greatest forces on defense of all time.
I mean, when you hear that quote from Steve Kerr, who played with Dennis Rodman, who played with David Robinson as well with the San Antonio Spurs, those are 2 of the greatest defenders of all time. For him to even put Draymond Green in that conversation or ranked above those guys tells you a lot about Draymond Green.
So Draymond, 1, 2, 3, I'm counting, 4, 5 first teams. Dennis had 7. So listen, they're comparable.
Yes.
And 9 total for Draymond. He'd get to 10. Dennis only got to 8. So there you go.
But don't tell that to the Warrior fans who still want Draymond Green off the roster.
Dude, that's a whole nother thing.
Come on.
I mean, people who are done with
This
Draymond.
is ridiculous.
Right?
People have been trying to run Draymond Green off the team since 2022.
You are 1,000% correct. I mean, people have hated this guy. They've hated him. He literally won you the game last night. I mean, as we said in the first segment, my eyes were glued to him as much as they're glued to Steph on offense, too. And my gosh, and then let's, as we're saying, we should not ignore Al Horford, what he did. I was like, he can't hit another one, can he? Yes, he can't hit another one, can he? Yes, he did. He'll be 40 in June, by the way. He'll be 40 in June.
I think they said last night on the broadcast, he's the oldest Warriors player in franchise history.
Is that right?
I think that's what they said last night on the broadcast.
I'll buy it.
I'll have to double check that.
I don't think so. I mean, Nate Thurman comes to mind. Rest in peace.
He's out here hitting 4 3-pointers in the fourth
Barry
quarter.
comes to mind. Rest in peace. Mully, no. Any others? I think I'm forgetting. Somebody from the Philly days? I don't know. We got to call it. Adam Silver's like, I don't even know what you guys are talking about. It's not official. Nothing's been called in. Well, Bruce Frazier, being in L.A., he had to see some of his old Long Beach Wilson High School water polo teammates, or actually basketball teammates after the game, and then go to a party, maybe from an old girlfriend down in Long Beach. So he was a little late calling it in. So he calls it in nonetheless. Adam Silver said, I never thought you'd call. And wait a minute, aren't you guys a faded dynasty? And he said, not tonight, skinny boy. Put this one in the books. Golden State Warriors 126, LA Clippers 121.
Beautiful basketball. Beautiful basketball.
Man, the DJ was playing slaps.
All of the unks are out, and they're going to have to step up.
7 and 6 better than 6-7. God just blessed Steph, man. I don't know.
Pat is that motherfucker. It's a little mysterious.
The account could be activated now.
There you go. We added some new stuff there. The pound of the table. And the account can be activated. And the pound. Boom, 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 boom. Once again, I'm going 99 Ryder Cup. I got a good feeling about this. Ben Crenshaw. All right, Tone. If anybody knows what that is, that's Steve Kerr saying this is what he does. This is who he is. And he pounded the table last night. Take that for data.
Take that for data.
Right? Doesn't he pound a table?
This nerd loves data.
All right, mount, table, pound more.
Oh.
David Fizdale, take that for data. Boom. The late Denny Green, Stanford's own. They are who we thought they were. Boom. And we let them off the hook. 3, I'm gonna go lightly. I think Ben Crenshaw lightly pounds the table at the 99 Ryder Cup. And I got a good feeling about this, and just pounds the table lightly. And then Steve Kerr. Boom, 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 boom. Mount Table Pound more. All right. Take us through, Tone. You got them all there. And help me. I'm giving you the keys. What's
you guys want to start with the atmosphere in the arena last night, just to set everything up? There was a lot of Warriors fans there, and it was almost like a Niners takeover at Levi's South, as Marcus said. Here's the visual and the audio of a bunch of Warriors fans just kind of getting the whole place going.
This is from Chris Mannix's social media account, so check out YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter here. Dude, that's legit. That's during a timeout. And he's panning around the arena. That's legit, man. That's like when Dodger fans come here and you're like so upset.
Yeah.
This is our revenge. This is our revenge.
The only thing that video is missing is a zoom in on the face of Steve Ballmer, who spent over $2 billion to build that arena just to watch it get taken over by Warriors fans.
Do you think he noticed the $2 billion?
No, not at all.
Do you think he noticed?
Nah, for that guy, probably
he logged
not.
onto his Wells Fargo mobile and it was $2 billion less. He's like, did I go out last night?
Yeah, no.
Anyway.
No, not a big deal for Steve Ballmer. And I'll give him credit for spending that kind of money and building that stadium down there, but not even the wall that the Clipper fans tried to
build. With
the
Klay Thompson signs?
Where they don't allow anybody in opposing fan gear to step into or else you get kicked out of the stadium. That could not stop Steph and Dre in the fourth quarter.
Tony, what's that? Jimmy Butler, even though he didn't play last night, made the postgame sound?
So someone was getting him on camera going to the locker room, and he was just, riffing in the hallway. Wait till you hear this.
YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter again, visual.
Steph, Gee, Big Al. Wow, Will Richards didn't do anything, but he was over there with me cheering his heart out. Wow. Go Dub.
I love just Will just catching a stray.
Yeah, dude. And that's the vibes that you were talking about that Jimmy Butler brings to the locker room that we've been talking about since the golden vibes and the candle being lit in the locker room and playing Erykah Badu. Even when he's not on the court, he was still traveling with the team this year, even after the injury. He's just a great guy to have around the locker room.
He is the coolest dude.
Wow, Will Richards didn't do anything.
Do you can you find the meme? Marcus found it, and you can put it on YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. The smile and the nod. That thing is an instant classic. Somebody on the text line sent in, said, "What do you give me for the Jimmy smile and nod?" And Mr. Miyagi from the Karate Kid, the one where the myth, where the gift where Miyagi gives the raised eyebrows and the pursed lips and the nod there. So, yeah. All right. Well, let us know when you get that one in. Again, we got JD coming up in a few minutes, boots on the ground. So, what else? You got Kerr, you got Curry, you got Draymond.
Let's get into the Draymond and Kawhi stuff. That was pretty good. It was kind of a key factor in the game, obviously. This was Kawhi after the game, unprompted, talking to the media and about Draymond's role and just the overall game plan.
These are all on YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter by the videos, too.
Here's Kawhi.
Just being physical all game. Making sure I don't get no catch and shoot shots, blitzing every, pick and roll, getting in the post, seeing two bodies. And then, Draymond, Hall of Fame defender. It was hard to even get shots up.
Damn. Kawhi Leonard, 2019, revenge for 2019, Toronto.
That
Hall of Fame defender,
there,
hard to get shots up.
Yeah, dude, and that's game recognizing game because I think it's my opinion, and most people would agree that Kawhi Leonard is one of the best defenders of this generation as well. So to see him say that about Draymond Green, again, it was another masterpiece. Even though Draymond Green is not giving you these defensive performances night in and night out during the regular season, when there's a big-time matchup, when there's money on the line, Draymond Green is going to show up.
Well, Draymond responded to your point about Kawhi's defensive bona fides. Here it is.
So many times like we have, he know me, I know him. But I definitely watch a lot of film. But more so of him this year because it took a different Kawhi. The aggressiveness, his shot is as good as it's ever been. His ball handling is as good as it's ever been. To hear one of the greats say that about me, man, that's special. That's why you do it. Because you want respect from your peers. And Kawhi he's not just no ordinary peer. Again, he's one of the greats. And so to hear him say that about me. Man, that guy took a Defensive Player of the Year award away from me, and to say that about me, that means a lot. It means a lot because, he's a man of few words, but when he speaks, it's loud, because he doesn't speak much, and I don't think there's a player in the NBA that does not respect Kawhi Leonard. He's a special guy. So to hear him, I'm grateful to hear him say that about me because ultimately you just want the respect of your peers, and I'm very thankful for that.
It's funny that he said that Kawhi's a man of few words because Draymond's a man of too many words. Like he said the same thing like 3 times in that answer. He's like, but I was going to say, there's no Kawhi podcast.
Yeah, Kawhi
right?
ain't dropping any podcast anytime soon. I'll
and
tell you
then
that.
just to close this out before we go down to JD, here's the meme we were talking about on YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. Steph hits the 3 to go up 120 to 117. He hits it from Culver City, and he falls into the crowd. And now they cut to Jimmy. And it was such elite direct. Amazon Prime, for the CBS Masters director got crushed for not finding the ball. And Amazon got crushed Tuesday for cutting out.
Yeah.
There was a brief buffer in the fourth quarter, by the way. Do you guys have that? Do you guys have a brief buffer in the fourth quarter?
I was fine at Thrive City.
Oh, and around the 5-6 minute mark, ours buffered, and I stood up and was like, no, you don't. Not today, Satan. No. And it came back, but they cut to Jimmy, and we went nuts, man. Check that thing out over and over again. Look at Jimmy. The look, the nod.
And you're right, dude. That's going to be an instant meme. You can use it for golf. If you throw a dart at the pin, you're like, yeah, me staring down my ball as I'm about to hit a birdie.
Yeah.
Or if you're me, like me, when I see a baddie on the other side of the club. Yeah, I see you.
Jimmy's got that aura, man. That is fun stuff. All right. Does JD have that aura? I don't know if he has that Jimmy Butler aura, but he's very good. But he's our
JD.
guy down there. So John Dickinson, it's funny thing is I said to Curly, who do we got down there in the building we can get? We said, well, we got one of our own. We got John Dickinson. I'm like, yeah, but he's doing a show till midnight. And it's like, JD is such a freaking lunatic about this stuff. He's like, when do you need me? 6:50? I'm there. So early morning, John Dickinson from Intuit Dome. Next on the Sports Leader. Are you enjoying?
Yeah.
Time for your Bay Area Chevy dealers traffic update.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Marcus Boucher back on a Thursday morning with Surfside. And for all of my OG leadoff spot heads, on Thursdays, I like to start drinking at noon.
Because it's Thursday and it's past noon. Thursday is one of my days off. My off days, I start drinking at noon. You don't get to interrupt that.
Now, we're not quite at noon yet. Got to get through this show. But once it gets to noon today, guess what? I'm going to be sipping on some Surfside because there's only one way to celebrate that Warriors win last night, and that's with a Surfside iced tea and vodka or a Surfside lemonade and vodka. It's smooth, refreshing, and it's made for game day. Surfside is the perfect match for a day at the ballpark or catching a game at home. Perfect for today's Giants day game coming up right around the corner. And get this, Surfside is only 100 calories. It has 0 bubbles, so it goes down nice and easy. It's not a seltzer, it's Surfside. And they're a proud partner of the San Francisco Giants. Must be 21 plus. Please drink responsibly.
Now, it's time for KNBR's Opening Bell Report. Sponsored by Protect Your Assets with David Hollander. Concerned inflation will ruin your dream retirement? Learn more. Listen to David's show every Saturday morning or call 1-866-PROTECT. Listen to the sports leader anytime, anywhere. Download KNBR, the sports leader app. Murph and Marcus continue live from the Casino Matrix Progressive Jackpot Studios. Casino Matrix. Progressive jackpots are here. Where are you? Just drop in. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Horford, 3 for the lead. Got it! The Warriors' first lead since the second quarter. It's Steph Curry. Time is on it. Bumped. Curry. 3. Good! 34 for Curry. Mathurin to inbound. Oh, look at the defense. Green. Steal. Pajumski. Oh, he can't get it at the doorstep. And a foul. They hit 19 threes. Here goes Jones. They let him drive. He puts it down. Green will inbound quickly to Horford. Kawhi can't knock it away. Pajemski is there. The Warriors have won. The Golden State Warriors have won.
Just a beautiful.
There it is, man. The sounds of Kevin Harlan, who came on our show yesterday and told us, yeah, Steve Kerr says we have enough to win. And we're kind of like, yeah, what are they doing? What are they really going to like kind of have any kind of pulse, any kind of life? And Down 13 in the fourth quarter. You're like, yeah, well, no, head to the lottery. And oh, by the way, we've received a few texts today saying kind of wanted to go to the lottery, but 90% are saying, man, oh man, they loved the moment, the wave, the greatness of Steph Curry, the old man Al Horford appearance, and of course the vintage bottle of Draymond Green defense down the stretch. We're going to talk to John Dickinson, who was in the freaking building last night. But first, you're listening to KNBR AM and KNBR FM San Francisco, the sports leader, a Cumulus media station. You were built for times like these, JD, to work the game, the postgame, and then the 6:57 a.m. hit with Murph and Marcus, bro. Way to be a soldier, dude. Good morning.
What up, JD?
What's going on, fellas? What an incredible night. And, the Warriors just showing that they had it in the tank. They might still be a lottery team. For those that want them to be a lottery team, they still could be a lottery team if they can't make it through Phoenix tomorrow night. But what a night. The Warriors roll the clock back for a quarter or a half or a game. Warrior fans showed out, too, in Intuit Dome. They took the joint over as Steph was doing his thing along with Draymond. And how about Al Horford? Boston Celtics NBA Finals, Game 1, Al Horford. Little payback for the taking one from the Dubs back in 2022.
Absolutely incredible. And by the way, I want to fixate on that other thing. I had kind of forgotten. So we're riding the high. And usually in the morning show, we don't do that sober analysis because we're still riding the high from the night before.
Yeah, we're still not sober.
But I didn't really realize that if they lose to Phoenix, they're back in the lottery. So there you go, man.
I'm trying to ride the high for everybody,
I know,
not just the folks that are enjoying the win, but those that still want to have something to look forward to in their own way here over the next 48 hours.
Well, JD, let's start with that atmosphere last night down in L.A. Did it feel similar to one of the SoFi Stadium takeovers that we see from 49er fans taking over at Levi South?
It really did, and there were a lot of Warrior fans in the building, but it didn't. They didn't have a ton to cheer about because the whole game it was basically Warriors get down 10, then they make a push, but then every time the Warriors would make a push, they'd go back down 10, and it winds up culminating in being down 13 in the fourth quarter there before the big time comeback and Al Horford gets hot. But you got the sense that it had the potential to be a special night when Steph came out in the third and Steph started cooking. Only 8 points at halftime, but he goes for 16 in the third quarter. And that's when you just kind of knew, hey, this has the potential. If Steph can keep it going, or if they can get, big question last night going into the game, who would have more players capable of stepping up next to their team's star? Would it be the guys like a Ben Mathurin for the Clippers next to Kawhi? Could the Warriors find enough players that ultimately could do it? And they did. They got the contributions not only from Steph, who carried them home, and the big moment in the final minute with the game tied, just the vintage two-man game with Draymond and Draymond finding Steph, and Steph hitting the three and falling down and getting up and dancing. And you would have thought you were at Oracle Arena, I think, in 2018 in that moment, because the Warrior fans that were on hand were able to go full throat. But the Warriors got those. They got those contributions that they needed, not only from Steph, but they got a 20 from McGee Santos and a 20 from a Porzingis and the 4 fourth-quarter three-pointers from Al Horford. They had enough other guys come along, Brandon Pajemski 17, to where what Steph did actually mattered, and it's the reason they're going to be playing tomorrow night in Phoenix.
Absolutely awesome. JD, John Dickinson in the building last night with a bunch of Warriors fans. We played that Warriors chant earlier. It was just, there were Amazon Prime cut to many, many Warriors fans in the blue and gold gear doing their thing, doing that 49er takeover of Lehigh South. Let's talk about Draymond Green and Kawhi Leonard. Honestly, JD, I was as glued into Draymond on defense as I was to Steph on offense. When that thing started to become apparent that he was dedicating his life to shutting down Kawhi in the fourth quarter, it became fascinating to me. And then Kawhi's comments after the game. Dude, what was it like to be in there? What were you noticing in person? And you've been watching the Warriors every single game this year. Have we seen anything close to that from Draymond this year?
The only other time was the two games back in November when they played in San Antonio, and he attempted to do whatever version you can against Victor Wembanyama. Different different covers, but he did, I think, have his best 2 games of the year defensively in those back-to-back games. They played 2 straight in November right before Thanksgiving against San Antonio, and he was able to slow down Wembanyama as much as anybody can. I don't think anybody has since, when you look at the run that the Spurs have been on to the 2nd seed in the West. But yeah, it was Draymond feeling that the game was going to be decided on 3 or 4 or 5 possessions where he has the ability to just prevent Kawhi Leonard from getting off a good shot, or as Kawhi had said after the game, and you could see it watching. The key to Draymond's success against him was not even letting him get the ball. It was full denial. It was not letting him get comfortable to where he could set up that mid-range elbow jumper that he's become so lethal with. And you see even on that inbounds pass late, I mean, it's the denial. It's you're not even going to get to face me up. I'm going to knock the ball away. And what an incredible couple of plays. Diving on the floor for 1 steal, the tip on that sideline inbounds to get the ball to Pajemski where he has the breakaway. It was vintage. Draymond, he can't do it for 48 minutes. Heck, he can't even, at least hasn't been able to do it for more than a handful of games all season. But Draymond still shows you that he's got in his back pocket the ability, if he doesn't have to do it every single night, to sense that the moment was so big that it was time to step up, and that's where he was able to do what we've seen him do so effectively through the years, which is just will his way defensively to stops against all kinds of different players, whether it's centers or whether it's that big wing that can usually get whatever they want, whenever they want in the big moments. And that's been kind of the shift for Draymond as, attention waned and Steph was preparing to come back, and they were trying to figure out what does the new Draymond Green look like in terms of this era of his career and the wind down. And it's been more accepting of that wing assignment, the Luka Doncic, the LeBron, the Kawhi Leonard, guard those guys more because the Warriors now have Porzingis and have Al Horford at the big man spot. So it's less guarding centers, and it became more trying to guard those big wings. And I think Draymond, as much as nobody was paying attention to it, really did kind of use the last month and a half to sort of prepare for the ability to accept defensive assignments like last night's when they needed it.
Steve Kerr had a ton of praise for Draymond Green after the game last night. We've heard him talk before about how he thinks he's one of, if not the best defender he's ever seen in his life. But I want to talk to you about the quote that stood out to me, JD. It's when Steve Kerr said, "For one night, we're us. We're champions again." Now, he did admit that it's even crazy, and it sounds silly for him to say, since this is a 9-10 play-in game, and they've won 4 championships while wearing a Warriors uniform. But what do you think this win really meant for Steve Kerr, Draymond Green, and Steph after everything they've gone through this season?
Yeah, at a minimum, it was just the one more ride. It was just showing themselves and showing the league that they could feel a little bit of what they had felt in some of those big-time moments in the past. And I know a lot of people, even on Dubs OT last night, there were a handful. It was a small amount, honestly. It was pretty celebratory and people that hadn't had a lot to root for and cheer for. But there were a few people like, hey, this is a 9-10. Like, we're used to these guys winning championships. And I think Steve, his message was more to those people and basically saying, so the hell what? For one night, yes, we're not the team that we've been. Yes, there's been injuries that really destroyed this season going back now 3 months ago when we look at Jimmy Butler, and then still in January, Steph Curry missing a third of the season up until the final week. It was the statement to they still have the ability, if they can get in that moment, to make things happen, whether it's Steph doing what he does best or whether it's Draymond doing what he does best. Even the guys that aren't Warriors champions, I felt, had the champion's blood, to quote the great Bruce Bochy. Champion DNA, champion's blood, whatever you want to call it. It was a night for the champions and a night for the Warriors to recapture a little bit of that feeling where you just the energy in the building says that they're going to do something special. And it starts with Steph, but then Draymond on the defensive end. It turned into, if you just lost yourself in it, it turned you could almost feel like it was June, and not April, at least for those final 6 minutes as the Warriors were doing their thing. And I think that's what Steve's getting at in terms of just kind of embracing the entertainment value. Yeah, I thought of Buster Posey last night too, the memory-making business. Yeah. And just the fact that, 10, 15 years from now, I think a lot of people are going to remember what the Warriors did last night and not remember that they were a 37-win team going into it in an injury-riddled season.
Right. So what you're saying is the Warriors didn't start 6-12 this year is what you're saying. Hey, before
they did not. but they played that bad for the last 2 months.
Yeah. Hey, last just sort of X's and O's question, less big picture. Explain to me like I'm 5 years old. I'm watching the last 5-6 minutes. I'm like, where's Kristaps Porzingis? Where's Kristaps Porzingis? He did not play the final at least 5 or 6 minutes. Guy Santos. Now, I guess you tell me, was it just because they were rolling? Is it because Guy Santos is a better defensive option? Or should we not expect to see, if they indeed play more important games into this month, should we not expect to see KP down the stretch?
I think the intent was for Porzingis to play down the stretch, but it was Horford. It was Horford that was taking the time because Horford hit the 4 3-pointers in that fourth quarter. He was 4 for 4 in the fourth from 3, and all of them were big. He ended up with 14 points, and I think so that in terms of the big was the player that was taking Porzingis' run, and I think Kerr just kind of rode with him at that point, and it was also Guy. It was also Guy. He was a game high plus 16. He had the best plus-minus on the floor last night, obviously out there for that stretch, played 32 minutes. He just does a little bit of everything. In some ways, we were having the discussion last night, he's become what the Warriors would have dreamed for Jonathan Kuminga to actually be, right? Somebody that can get 18 to 20, but can do it while also playing defense and rebounding and not having the ability to only do it when everybody else is out, can actually contribute when Steph is there and the veteran players around him need him to contribute, and just do it in a meaningful but maybe a more understated way. He's been somebody that I think has made the greatest jump. With them depending on him more without Jimmy, trying to give an opportunity for him to develop his game, but also without the cloak of Kuminga after the trade deadline around, as somebody that Steve Kerr felt like he had to get on the court here and there over maybe somebody that was a better fit.
It's good stuff, man. So everybody wants to know, is JD on his way to Phoenix?
Yes, but not immediately. It will be tonight. We had a couple of different scheduling. I was actually set to be back in the Bay if it had gone the other way already, to be ready to do the show with Greg Silver coming up after the Giants. But yes, on to Phoenix later this evening, and of course we'll have Dubs OT for you tomorrow immediately following the game, and we'll see where this thing goes, fellas. Big night against the Suns.
As the great Marty Leary would say, it's basketball. Let's see what happens. So great stuff. Thanks for hopping on early, man. I know it was a short night of sleep, so well done. Great to get the live report from you. And dude, on to Phoenix, brother. We'll look forward to the report. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks, JD.
On to Phoenix. Thanks for having me, guys.
There it is. We're on to Cincinnati. We're on to Phoenix. I forgot about that. If they lose, they get... Because there is a thread of texts coming in saying they blew it last year and didn't get Cooper Flag, and now they're blowing it this year, and they're not going to get Cam Boozer. It's just one guy saying, I need my lottery pick.
Yeah, well, if you're hoping for the Warriors to get a frozen envelope and get the number 1 overall pick, keep on waiting, bud.
Dallas got it.
Yeah, they also traded Luka to the Lakers, if you really want to pull out the tinfoil.
But by the way, the Warriors could still go in the lottery if they lose. And Oklahoma City's in the lottery because they have the Clippers' first-round pick. That's incredible. So anyway, fun night. The memory-making business indeed. The memory-making business indeed. So, okay, it's a weird morning. First of all, the Warriors won a play-in game when they were down 13 in the fourth quarter. That's part of the weird morning. But second of all, it's a Giants game at 9:40 in Cincy. What did you say, Tone? Somebody texted in 3 words. Pray for rain. Is that what they said? Pray for rain?
I think they were riffing, but yeah.
But it's actually good news or bad news, dry weather in Cincinnati, Ohio today. So there will be a game at 9:40, 8:40 pregame, which means we're almost done. So we got to do all our things we do, which is the cooler of content, and it's loaded with stuff from the Warriors last night. Next on the Sports Leader.
We're in the memory-making business.
Time for your Bay Area Chevy dealers traffic update.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Marcus, the Waterboy Boucher, back again on a Thursday morning with Prize Picks. And last night we had some play-in basketball action. We cashed in on Day-Day, Draymond Green, that have more than 11 total rebounds and assists. Draymond, with a great defensive effort, rewarded us for trusting in him on Prize Picks and won us a few shekels last night. But we got Giants baseball coming up in just a few hours. And look, if you're frustrated with the Giants offense, why not pick against them and make some money? You can pick against Patrick Bailey to have less than one total hit today against Chase Burns from the Cincinnati Reds, their top pitching prospect. I will be picking him to have more than 5.5 strikeouts against this Giants struggling lineup. But you can take my picks or you can fade my picks. All these options and more are available right now on Prize Picks. All you need to do is download the app and use the code word LEADER to get a $50 bonus in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code LEADER to get $50 in bonus lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks.
Tell them to bring me my money.
Yesterday was the big day, tax day, but some people file for extensions and some people still, of course, need the help of our good friend Steve Moskowitz, our tax attorney. And Steve, unfiled tax returns is the issue today, and you can help the people out. Good morning, Steve. How can you help on unfiled tax returns?
Good morning, and you are so right on point here. Here it is. It's April 16th, and a lot of people are feeling a big sense of relief. They finally got that return out the door yesterday. But there's another whole group of people, and I'm really familiar with them. They feel an increased feeling of dread because another year went by and they didn't file the return, and they're wondering when's the hammer going to fall on them. Folks, that's no way to live, and you don't have to live that way. I understand you probably don't have the money to pay the taxes. That's okay. We want to work a deal out for you. We'll file all the old back returns. We'll make a deal for what you owe, and then you can have a life. And I'll tell you, things are way better for you if you go to the government before they come to you. Don't live this life of dread. Don't do this to yourself, your family, your business. At least talk to us. What do you have to lose by calling up, talking to us for a free phone call? Think of the potential. Think of how we could change your life. We want to give you your life back. The only thing you have to do is pick up the phone and say, hey, Steve, I want my free consultation.
That's what you do. He's tax attorney Steve Moskowitz. He's my tax attorney, and he should be your tax attorney. Give him a call at 888-TAX-DEAL, 888-TAX-DEAL, or go online to moskowitzllp.com.
And now it's time for the Protect Your Assets Business and Technology Report with me, David Hollander.
Now back to Murph and Marcus on The Sports Leader. Streaming live on thesportsleader.com and KNBR. The Sports Leader app. Murph and Marcus is sponsored by Bigelow Tea. Grab a mug and tea proudly.
Nothing but confidence. Like, he's been doing it when he's been available and healthy all year and his whole career. But you can tell there's no hesitation. Read what the defense was giving him. Knock shots down, shoot with confidence.
Work all year, all summer, all season.
No disrespect to the Clippers, they're a great organization, but it was amazing when he was making those shots, what the energy in this arena turned into. And that's what the NBA is about.
Steph Curry talking about Al Horford. Oh my gosh. I go back to 2006 when he knocked out my UCLA Bruins, man, in the Final Four championship game in Indianapolis. That's how long Al Horford's been making big buckets. And man, oh man, did he make some last night. 4 out of 4. It is time for the cooler of content because, ladies and gentlemen, we got an early Giants game today, 8:40. That's right, I said it. I said the G word.
King Giants.
There it is. Thank you very much. So, Young Tone, I know you're busy back there. You want to get us on the right path here.
All right, everyone. Chill. This is the cooler.
He's bitten a cooler
of content.
Cornucopacious of joyful news.
We might be on to something.
Yeah, baby! Murph and Marcus is sponsored by Bigelow Tea. Grab a mug and tea proudly.
Sponsored by Marin Health, the cooler is, with top physicians, surgeons, and clinicians right here in the North Bay. Marin Health puts you closer to your best health, world-class care, closer than you think. The cooler is all blue and gold today. By the way, Nick Turturro's in that open right there. Driving in this morning, one of the shows I listened to when I try to steal stuff on the way in was having Nick as a guest.
Nice, Nicky.
And the host, who I like, kept apologizing. Like, he's the brother of John Turturro. He's like, you don't have to apologize for Nick. He's Nick Turturro, man. Yeah! Who's John Turturro? Who's John? Give me Nick. Anyway.
I'm a Nicky T guy.
Absolutely. Although your Yankees are, did they play last night?
They've been struggling lately.
Dude, the Mets have lost 8 in a row. That's an expensive losing streak, bro.
Yeah.
This is why, I'm digressing right now on the cooler of content. But, the Dodgers won last night. Shohei pitched. He pitched great. He beat the Mets.
Of course he did.
He was amazing. And it was his first non-hitting game as a pitcher in a long time. It was notable.
Was a little weird that they did not let him hit yesterday. I don't know what's up with that.
But anyway, he did. It worked out. He pitched 8 innings or something. But anyway, the point is, did he go 8? Is that what he did? Let me check that box score again. He pitched great. Anyway, the point is that the LA Times has a front page story.
He went 6 last night with 10 strikeouts.
Okay, so 6, not 8, but 10 strikeouts. How many walks, by the way?
Walks, only 2 of them.
That's probably too many.
1 earned run.
Who's this guy think he is? Not Tyler Mahle?
Oh,
Remember when I excused his walks against the Phillies? Remember I said, he's pitching around those guys.
Oh, yeah, Schwarber, Harper, yeah.
Turns out he's pitching around the strike zone all the time.
Yeah, and when he's throwing balls in the strike zone, they're right down the middle of the plate.
Or let's make sure it's middle out for Sal Stewart, because he's got no oppo power.
Right where he likes them.
On the hands, bro, on the hands. Jam this guy. Anyway, I digress.
Yes.
Anyway, I was thinking as the LA Times had a front page story that they did a huge survey of Southern California sports fans. Who's the most popular team in LA?
Survey says.
And it was very notable. They put it on the front page of the LA Times The Dodgers by a mile. Wow. That's a Laker town, brother.
Yeah, I would agree.
That's Magic Johnson and Jerry West, okay? Dude, the Dodgers are a mile ahead right now. And I was thinking, as Greg Johnson and the crew spend 13th, look at what happens when you invest in a team. Look at the returns you get, right? It comes back 10x, right? 10x.
Dude, the Dodgers have made money off the Shohei Ohtani contract.
They're not losing money.
Not at all.
Yeah. That said, if Greg Johnson was listening right now, and he is, he's probably saying, yeah, well, how's Steve Cohen's spending going? There's a guy who's spending almost as much as the Dodgers. He's losing 8 in a row, dude.
Yeah,
so,
that's $1 billion matchup we saw last night.
Anyway, I digressed. The cooler of content and Young Tone, I know it's early this morning, so you can guide us here, buddy. I think we're going all Warriors, right?
Yeah.
All Warriors. What do you got first here,
So
kid?
Marcus had a couple great quotes he wanted to play from Steph Curry last night, who went to the podium late. The last guy at the podium. Something different from him from the regular season. So this is Curry, who's asked about the championship history with Draymond and just their relationship overall after the nice play and win.
We work all year for, all summer, off season. We're not guaranteed a series yet, but these nights make everything worth it because you feel the anxiety of having to perform when the lights are bright, do or die game. Like I said, the last 2 days of preparation, trying to get our game plan right, got us really locked in on the moment. So considering how our season has gone and all the injuries and all that, for us to play the way we did tonight was special. I know we're not satisfied. We want to go to Phoenix and guarantee, a playoff series against OKC. That's the next goal. But for us to lock in on just 48 minutes, figure it out, however we can, get a win, knowing that the game was not going to be perfect, we were all pretty committed to that. And the 8 guys that got on the floor all had a part in making it happen.
Freaking every Steph Curry soundbite is gold. So, people are going superlative this morning. I say Kendrick Perkins said he's the greatest point guard ever. We've had this discussion many times when he has a great performance. My guy Platzi, Stanford broadcaster's in, saying he's the greatest player under 6'6" in the history of the game. No debate. I said, well, Isaiah Thomas, John Stockton, Jerry West, these are all names that come to mind. And the thing that's always tripped me up of calling Steph the greatest player of all time is his defense, right? We've just talked about Kawhi Leonard and Draymond. So let's not talk about that right now. No. I'm going to say this. In terms of skill, talent, moment, and performance, plus quality of human being, he's easily the best of all time. Maybe the only other one that comes close is Magic Johnson. Magic was an ambassador who spread a lot of sunshine and joy, and every time he talked to Magic, he was smiling. But Steph, dude, he's so full of substance. He's so patient with the media and the fans, and he's just... What a dude.
Yes.
Go make a hole-in-one in Tahoe, bro.
And that's why we all love Steph Curry. And that's why, Murph, no disrespect, but I don't even want to have those conversations this morning about whether or not he's the best point guard of all time or where he ranks from 6'5" shooters and under. Like, no. Let's just appreciate what we saw last night.
Yeah.
Even though it was a 9-10 playing game, and you hear Steph say, even I'm not satisfied. Don't tell that to his head coach, Steve Kerr, who was treating last night like a championship, the way he was celebrating as well. But it's like, let's just enjoy this because we all know it's not going to last forever. But last night was just another great reminder of why Warriors fans are so invested in the last of this Steph Curry window. It's why we're all pounding the table every year at the trade deadline to go get him help because he still has this in his body. At age 38 years old, he's still the greatest show in sports, even when he's 38. That's Steph Curry. Yes. That's why we pound the table.
Pound table more. And by the way, we did hear Nikita Khrushchev pounding the table saying, we will bury you. That was another Platzi contribution. That's going to bump out Ben Crenshaw, who barely pounded the table. So one more from the cooler of content. Steve Kerr last night was for a guy who's won championships with Michael frickin' Jordan, okay? Who's probably the greatest of all time, right? We don't have to debate that one, 6'6" or higher. And now has... ridden alongside Steph Curry. This was a 9-10 play-in game, and this is what Steve Kerr was feeling last night.
Everybody out there who thought Steph should have taken the rest of the year off, this is what he does. This is who he is. If he can compete, he's going to compete, and it was just incredible to watch.
That is such a great signature quote from Steve Kerr, and John Dickinson said it, too. It's a good line, the memory-making business. We'll remember this game.
No question.
You know what I mean? And even if because they're probably not winning a championship, although, am I the first guy to even, No, I'm not going to even say it.
No, don't even
I'm not
go
going to
there.
say anything.
Yeah.
But Oklahoma City's like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
But by the way, Steph was saying we haven't earned the right to get to a series yet. The way he said that made me think they're beating Phoenix.
Yeah.
They're beating Phoenix.
I'm not betting against them. I'm not betting against them.
Well, you got something on the, what do you got, young
So
Tone?
so let's just close it out here. Curry on the Suns matchup. He was asked, this is the last question in the press conference. What do you think about the Phoenix Suns?
So tonight, there's going to be runs back and forth. They started out 12-2 tonight and felt like we were down 10 multiple times throughout the game, but we kept answering. Phoenix is a high-powered offense. Dylan and Devin have been playing great all year long. They have guys that can, create off the dribble. Watch the game against Portland. It's going to be a great atmosphere. So we're excited about it, and I didn't get to watch the Orlando-Philly game, but the play-in is delivering this year. It's been good basketball to watch. So hopefully we can add to that and get another win.
Boy, the NBA needed it too because the publicity was so bad with the tanking. The tanking was so bad. I ran into a guy. Shout out Paul from Vasco and the Depot. It was at the dog park. This is a standard encounter at the dog park, and he's like, "Man, what's with the NBA and tanking?" And I'm like, that's a casual conversation at the dog park. Like when that seeps into that, when you've reached dog park chat level, it's a problem, So the NBA is just getting killed and killed and killed. And as Steph said, play-in delivered.
Yes.
Last 2
Steph
nights.
was the antidote, the play-in bracket. As much as I rip it for a team potentially getting into the playoffs with a losing record, I'm glad it's my team. I'm glad it's the Warriors. I'm glad Steph Curry has this opportunity.
What do you got?
Steve Kerr had a funny line about the play-in.
I want to thank the league for creating the play-in tournament. Thank you, Adam.
Oh, we got the big laugh.
Nice media laugh. Yeah.
Not exactly the Ben and SoCal laugh, though, who apparently called
need
JD
Ben.
last
I
night and
need
called
Ben.
us before the game.
I need
and
Ben in Phoenix.
I tossed out some weak laugh line, and he gave us this.
Yeah.
There you go. All right. We do our executive show every Thursday. We understand the Giants are 6-12. We'll talk about it with Larry Bear. And then, what do we got after Larry? We got Matt Mayoko at 8:15. Then we got Giants baseball at 8:40. So, obviously, the big hit's going to be the Warriors. So, 7:50, big hit Warriors. And, Giants play at 9:40 this morning. It is April 16th. Season's not over yet, I think, on the Sports Leader.
We in trouble right now, and don't none of us want to see that psycho in the Bay. We don't want to see that psycho in the Bay in a play-in game. I'm telling you.
What's the best way to celebrate an epic Warrior win? Amici's East Coast Pizzeria. Let's have it delivered to the house, man. Make them, or I should say, enjoy the pleasure of them delivering it to your home. And don't use the mega delivery apps. No. That's a hefty delivery charge. No. Have Amici's. They make the pizza. They drive the pizza. They deliver the pizza. Prompt, courteous, and professional. They've been doing this for a long time. Over 38 years in our Amici's family, we've been doing this, so we know what we're doing here, all right? Pack them in carefully in insulated bags and keeping it fresh and hot and delivered straight to your home or business. So order your Amici's favorites direct from Amici's.com. That's AMICIS.com, or use the app and get your order delivered in less time and for less money than by using one of the mega delivery companies. So when you want the best pizza in town faster and at the best price, order direct. Amici's delivers.
The Sports Leader presents the Giants Executive Show. Every week we go straight to the offices of 3rd and King and hear from the guys who are calling the shots for the Orange and Black. Now, here are Murph and Marcus with Giants President and CEO Larry Baer on The Sports Leader. Sponsored by Bigelow Tea. Grab a mug and tea proudly.
Well, every Thursday we do it, and we rotate Buster Posey, Tony Vitello, Zach Manassian, and poor Larry Baer draws the straw as the Giants fall to 6-12. He's going to have to draw on all his veteran executive experience to get through this one. So it is the Executive Show, sponsored by Benjamin Moore Paints. Experience the Benjamin Moore retail difference at our independently owned authorized retailers today or at benjaminmoore.com. Larry, we start by saying good morning. There's a baseball game today, 9:40, 8:40 pregame. Marcus and I will do the pregame. So good morning. Thanks for hopping on the UMA guest line. And people are like, oh, we want to rip. You got to rip. And I get it. Everybody wants us to rip. But I'm at the point, Larry, where I want to say to you, man, I'm not even going to open with like a rip. I'm just going to open with like, Larry, man, what's going on? Like, what's going on, Larry? Why are the Giants 6-12?
Well, good morning, Murph.
Yes.
And good morning, Marcus.
Yes.
And,
Good morning, Larry.
Yeah, good morning, Giants fans. Look, it's I got to say, and I did. I guess I drew the short straw here, coming in on a 6-12 start. But look, it's a disappointing start. No doubt about it. I'm not going to go in the well-worn. I know you guys have been talking about that it's early. It's disappointing. And I do think that we all feel, and 10% into the season, that this is not the team that put together. This is not the team we'll be eventually. But we got to go out and prove it. And so we're ready to do that. I talked to Buster yesterday in Cincinnati, and obviously everybody's frustrated. We're frustrated for Giants fans. There have been some good signs, but not enough, obviously, and we want to get through it. The mode that's been successful for us through the years is you take 162 games and you kind of break it up, right? There's first 50 games, you kind of see what you have. The next 50 or so games, you got the trade deadline in there. You do something about it, make moves, make the bigger changes, and then the last portion of the season, say the final 62, to get to 162, you play like heck to go out and get to the postseason. So that's the format. We're 18 games in, and we'll see what we have. And it's been disappointing, but we think that a lot of the folks that are not at their career averages or above can get there. And those are a lot of the guys in the middle of the lineup. You know who they are. And that has been frustrating, but many of these players, get going a little further into the season. The starting pitching's been decent, but not good enough to make up for the lack of hitting.
Larry, to your point, it's hard to judge and really know who any baseball team is less than 20 games into the season, and I think the same thing can be said about a new manager. So let's ask you about Tony Vitello, 18 games into the season. Just how do you think he's handled this slow start and the slump for the Giants to start this 2026 season?
Well, I think that Tony's got all the energy. I mean, we saw 6 weeks with Tony, 7 weeks with Tony in spring training, and great energy, great camp. Everybody, all the veteran coaches and the players, as well as the new coaches, felt really good coming out of camp. So he hasn't changed. Obviously the competition's changed when you get into the beginning of the season, but I think Tony's wearing this some. As something to Buster about it. I mean, he's feeling that that the disappointment that we're all feeling. So it's got to change, and Tony knows that. And Tony he's a winner. He's won everywhere he's gone, and so what we very much hope to see happen is this is going to be a 20 game or 18 game start in 2 hours to turn it around. Tough start that will resolve itself and get us back. It's interesting. You can do all kinds of explanations. Somebody was asking, I guess the Mets are off to a bad start too, right? They've lost 8 in a row or something, and they were talking on ESPN about the Mets. And and I think it was Jeff Passan said something along the lines of it's the equivalent of a game and a half in an NFL season. Well, we're not going to carry that with us and just be mellow with the fact that we're 6-12, but I think that you have to do a little bit of putting it in perspective as well. But look, the signs aren't great. We saw a little bit of it seemed like more life toward the end of last night's game, 7th, 8th inning, strung some hits together, but not enough. And I know you guys have pointed out, I'm sure, we're not walking enough and not hitting home runs.
Larry, this is the question we can ask you anytime we talk to you. It's the one that just maybe the biggest one for fans is, and I know it's a sensitive subject, it's money. Nobody likes to talk about money. Hey, how much are you making? I don't know how much you making. I don't know. Well, listen, you guys as fans, we pay a lot of money for our seats, a lot of money for our beers, as we've talked about, and you guys are under the luxury tax. You guys are at $230 million according to Spot Track. The luxury tax is $244. The first threshold is $264. And, we can look at any number of spots, especially the bullpen, maybe starting pitching, different than, listen, no disrespect to Hauser and Molly as veterans, but there are guys out there who are bigger names and better. Framber Valdez came to mind, others, stuff like that. But anyway, the point is, fans are going to say, man, if you guys don't turn this thing around, fans are going to say, why am I paying all this money? You guys aren't spending on the team. You're 13th in spending, and it's our understanding you guys are top 5th in revenue. So that doesn't add up. So what can you say to the fans about your guys' adamant staying under the luxury tax when there are holes to fill?
Murph, if we could prove, so a fair question, and we would respond in similar ways we've responded in other years where we have won and haven't spent at the top. And, we've been anywhere from 10th, 12th, 5th, 7th, et cetera, in overall spending. So much of it depends, though, on what you're spending it on and what the opportunities are. And our folks, Buster, Zach, and all of the Jeremy Shelley and all of the folks, they have to assess who is out there and who is going to be the right fit. And those fits, that fit is not always there. We are not, there's no restriction. There's no, here's your budget, you can't go a penny over this. That's not out there. But the players that are going to help us may not be out there. You've got to develop inside the organization. And that's not a money thing, that's a development thing. And so when we did win in those years, you think about who was on the field, and it wasn't the free agents and it wasn't the money guys, it was the guys that came through the system. And we're bringing people through the system now. We've got to get those guys on the field to complement the players that we have spent on. We made the deal with Rafi last year, and we took on money there. We've taken on money in various ways in various free agent contracts, and we think those are going to be solid deals. But it's, again, if you do a straight line, yes, the Dodgers. I know we can talk about the Dodgers, and hats off to them for 2 championships in a row, and fantastic team. But a lot of that has been through development as well, and player acquisition through trades, Mookie Betts, et cetera. So it's a combination. It's not just going out and buying the free agents.
Larry Baer is the voice you hear this morning on the Giants Executive Show, sponsored by Redwood Credit Union, for you, for community, for 75 years. And Larry, since we're on the topic of development, but also salary, I wanted to ask you about the recent trend that we're seeing in baseball with a lot of top prospects being paid early. Connor Griffin from the Pittsburgh Pirates just got a big old contract and just made his major league debut. Here in San Francisco, Giants fans are clamoring for Bryce Eldridge. He's still currently with the Sacramento River Cats, but have there been any discussion about a potential contract to maybe save a few cents on Bryce Eldridge before he blows up and becomes a potential superstar for the Giants?
I think any of those deals would be on the table for a number of players, not just talking about the player you're talking about, Bryce Eldridge, but others. I think that it's smart, right? We did sort of one of the first ones of those, if you remember, back with Madison Bumgarner. He was in his second year, at a second big league year. And this was Bobby Evans and Brian Sabian put together a deal with him. It was an 7-year deal, so 6 more years, and they took him in and bought out some free agent years. I think those are really smart deals. You got to pick the right player. And so Evan Longoria got one of those early on in Tampa. And it turned out to be a really good deal for Tampa. So, yes, the answer is yes. We would look at it for the right player. I think it makes sense. I think the biggest thing, Marcus, on these is, and the teams, I think there are two goals. One is to lock up the player and get the productivity and be able to keep the player, but also the fans want the consistency. They don't want to have a free agent revolving door, and they want to have a player who's growing up with the franchise, spends his first 4, 5, 6 years with the franchise to continue on. So I think there's multiple reasons to do it. Just have to identify the right player to do it with, and we'd certainly be open to continuing that trend. It makes sense.
Is there a downside to that, though? Can you confirm that Bumgarner's camp was not happy with that contract and that ultimately led to his departure?
I think if you look back, and I've talked to Mad Bum, after, since his retirement, and also when he was in Arizona, he'd come back and we'd talk about it. No, I mean, I don't think that was there was a sour taste. I mean, at the end of that contract, then you got to think about, okay, what's next, right? And we had one more deal with him, but it turned out to be a strong deal for the Giants. It turned out to be, a strong deal for Madison, in that he got, future deals. But it was, many people would say, I guess, that there was, that the Giants did a smart deal, but things can happen to a player. So if you're guaranteeing 8 years, also, I mean, Madison would perform just supremely. He was a premium pitcher for most of those years. It could go the other way. Player could get hurt, or a player just may not give you the performance. So it turned out to work well. I don't think it was really he was upset about it. I think he wanted, maybe he got one more deal with us and then went and signed with Arizona. Those are always tough, right? Toward the end of a great career, how do you get that last deal done and keep the player with you? We've done it with a number of players. It's been Giants all their lives, and I think the teams, that's a goal. It's not easy necessarily to do, to have a player just spend his whole career with you. We've had Matt Cain did it, Buster Posey, Tim Lincecum. So that's the goal, but it's hard.
Larry, I'll end it on this. You got to talk to the fans. I almost want to get out of the way. Like, fans, how passionate Giants fans are. You know what it's like. And Buster says this all the time, like why he wanted to do the job is to create what was created in 10, 12, and 14. Hell, I'll even throw in the 97 to 03 run and the way the Parks were at Candlestick and at Oracle, Pac Bell when it just started. So I'm getting out of the way. What would you say to the fans who are losing faith? Because it's been not just a 6-12 start, but prior to this, 4 straight years, 22, 23, 24, 25 of 500 baseball. You're a Giants historian like I am. This is now rivaling some of the most mediocre to sub-mediocre stretches that go back to the mid-'70s and things like that. It's tough, man. And so you got to tell, what can you tell these? How can fans believe and want to come to the Yard next week when this team is 6-12? Like, how can you sell this team?
Yeah. Well, I think that the players haven't changed from the players that we really believe in. First of all, the fans have been fantastic. They filled the ballpark in the first couple of homestands, and I think the fans do believe, and we believe, and all we can say to the fans is that we are committed to putting an absolute, top flight product on the field. It hasn't happened so far this season. We get it. And we're committed to doing it. We're committed to make the changes, spending the money, doing whatever we need to do it. That is our focus. It doesn't always work, either in the short term or in, 10% of the season. But the fans have been fantastic. We're, planning for big nights next week with the Dodgers, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Thursday's day game. And then the weekend, fans are, the tickets are being sold, and we're in the memory making business. So yeah, things can go up and down. It's sports. It's not always going to be where you want it to be, but just know that the focus all the way through the organization, from ownership through Buster and his group, through everybody that steps in 24 Willie Mays Plaza, is focused on delivering for the fans. And we appreciate all the fan support. I think the fans, we've heard a lot from the fans that while they want the winning, they're still with us, and just ask them to hang with us and get this thing turned around starting in about 2 hours in Cincinnati.
All right, Larry, I gave you a chance. So it's 6-12. We'll see what happens. Obviously, you know the deal, man. People are People are rightly upset with what they're seeing, and the baseball stuff we can talk about. I know you're not on the coaching staff, you're not in the dugout, so we can talk about that with Buster next week. But wanted to get an executive's perspective as to whether this team is truly committed to winning. You guys are committed to winning first and foremost over money.
It's absolutely. If there were players out there that we put on the team now to make this thing work and be turned around, we do it. Everybody, the ownership, we're all committed to that, Murph. It's not as easy as that might sound, but this is obviously this is not who we are, and but just to have a little bit of patience because we're 10% into the season. Let's stay committed. Let's do this one game at a time. The home record, we're really upset with the fact that we had an amazing vibe in the ballpark for the first 8 home games and did not have a good record. Although we won the last series against Philadelphia, it's in there, and we just got to get it moving starting today.
All right, appreciate the time. We'll see you at the ballpark. Thanks, Larry.
Thanks, Larry.
See you next week. Thanks, Murph.
Larry Bear on the Sports Leader.
This Monday night, July 11th, is half-price night at the Stick as the Giants open their series against the Pittsburgh Pirates. No seat in the house more than $4, and every seat fully air-conditioned.
Makes no.
All right, listen, when we all get frustrated with the baseball, maybe we need a dose of the good life. River Islands. Just drive out to River Islands, buy a house, kayak, and relax, because the good life is blooming this spring out at River Islands, where you can get a neighborhood for every lifestyle you want, your must-have list in your home, whether your dream kitchen, your home gym, your private office, your separate suite for in-laws. There's something at River Islands for you. Homes start in the low 600,000s to over $1 million. The town center near Islanders Field is sprouting up beautifully. The Redwood Cafe opens this summer, and a brand new community amphitheater is now under construction, getting ready for concerts and events and easy, warm evenings, summer nights. Come on, man. Sutter Health is building medical offices, and a major grocery store will be announced soon. So there's all sorts of good stuff happening. Step out your front door, you'll feel it. Lakes, parks, and trails, perfect for spring strolls and bike rides. San Joaquin River's there. The Lakeview Club at Del Webb, 55-plus community, making its debut. Construction underway on a 4th K-8 charter school. So it's all happening. It's time for you to discover the islands. Start your spring adventure at riverislands.com.
The good life.
Now, from the O'Donnell Financial Group Sports Desk. Learn more at odfigroup.com. O'Donnell Financial Group, because planning is a process, not a product. It's time for the Young Tony and John Joe question of the day.
Well, the question of the day is, how about those blanket Warriors with the comeback win last night over the LA Clippers? Yes, we got Giants baseball in just a couple hours.
King Giants.
But our big hit is on the Warriors. Who were you the most impressed with? Steph Curry down the stretch, Al Horford with 4 3-pointers in the fourth quarter, or our guy Draymond Green putting the clamps on Kawhi Leonard? 808 KNBR is the number. Give us a call, shoot us a text, or chime in on the YouTube chat.
This is The Big Hit, sponsored by Benjamin Moore Paints. Experience the Benjamin Moore retail difference at our independently owned authorized retailers today or at benjaminmoore.com. Murph and Marcus continue live from the Casino Matrix Progressive Jackpot Studios. Casino Matrix. Progressive jackpots are here. Where are you? Just drop in. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Horford 3 for the lead. Got it! The Warriors' first lead since the second quarter. It's Steph Curry. Time is on it. Bumped Curry. 3. Good! 34 for Curry. Mathurin to inbound. Oh, look at the defense. Green. Steal. Pajumski. Oh, he can't get it at the doorstep. And a foul. They hit 19 threes. Here goes Jones. They let him drive. He puts it down. Green will inbound quickly to Horford. Kawhi can't knock it away. Pajemski is there. The Warriors have won. The Golden State Warriors have won.
Just a beautiful display of competitive will. Everybody out there who thought Steph should have taken the rest of the year off, this is what he does. This is who he is. If he can compete, he's going to compete. And it was just incredible to watch.
We've been doing it for 2 hours now. The table pound gets better and better. Good morning, Warriors fans. And by the way, what a nice break from the Giants. My God, we just had to, we do the executive show, and we had to kind of, ask Larry, like, what the hell's going on? And it was tough to go down that road and see that 6-12 team. It's good to be back for the big hit on the Warriors, who put in
Giants.
One of the great performances. Thank you, Mount Table Pound more. We've gone David Fizdale, take that for data. We've gone Dennis Green. We are who they thought they were, rest in peace. And we let him off the hook. I had Ben Crenshaw, but I'm not sure he really pounded the table. We'll go back to Nikita Khrushchev. We will bury you pounding the table. Shout out Sting. Russians, the Russians love their children too. And then last night, Steve Kerr pounding the table. Steve was we thought Larry was fired up at the end of that interview. Steve was fired up like he's heard the hate.
Oh, of course.
Oh, there's been Twitter. Oh, Twitter GMs have fired this guy 700 times.
Steve Kerr must go. Draymond Green must go.
It's not even Steve Kerr must go. It's like, how did I draw the card in life that I have to watch Steve Kerr coach basketball games? Like, people were going like metaphysical, like Steve Kerr's existence is a blight on humanity. Like, I have been stunned at Warrior hate for, now again, it could be the algorithm ion, or Marcus, could be the cesspool of social media with the fleas above it, the fleas buzzing around the cesspool, or as you say, comments suck.
Yeah, they do.
Comments suck.
Hold that, haters.
But Steve, there was a little bit of that last night. So, hey, you're listening to KNBR AM and KNBR FM San Francisco, the sports leader, a Cumulus media station. We haven't taken any calls because we've been playing all the stuff this morning and getting into it. And whether it's, there's so many different aspects to last night's game. And you start with Steph, of course, hitting the three that put him up 120 to 117. Starting with Steph, of course, going 36 minutes. So much for the restriction, right? I guess he could have played more. Pajemski played like 41, right?
Yeah, probably would have played more if he didn't have to go to the locker room in the first half of the game yesterday.
Right. And did we ever get an explanation on that?
I never saw a clear answer.
No. So anyway, he scores 35. Absolutely incredible. And then Al freaking Horford.
Big Al.
Dude, those were laugh out loud. Or what'd you say? It was the anime run. Who was it again?
The Naruto run.
And
Naruto, I believe is actually how you say it.
And that was when Horford inspired that.
Horford hit his fourth three-pointer of the fourth quarter. It was one of the first times of the entire game that the Warriors took the lead, and I was down at Thrive City for the Warriors watch party, and the entire place went bonkers.
I find this to be so interesting that young Tony has turned the big hit music into the Tupac diss track.
I know, dude. We hit him up.
All right, is there a particular reason, Tony, you've changed the big hit music? No, I'm okay with it.
First song, blank the clips and the clips you claim.
All right, dude. Don't forget.
We're getting everything set up for Giants pregame. So Walter is here.
Okay.
So we're doing a lot.
Bad,
you're good. No, you're good. We're back on schedule.
Medium Impact Brian, of course, used that in his diss track of me.
Take money.
In our fantasy and in the mid-segment reads.
Take money.
Anyway, back to the event last night. You were at Thrive City. I was in my living room. I watched the whole thing. And as I saw them fall behind by 8 to 10 almost the entire night, I was mentally chalking it up to a loss. Now, I can tell you a little story. So the boys have water polo practice at night, and they come home around 9:20. Okay, Declan drives the kid. Two of them go together. Nice little brother bonding thing, right?
Nice.
He walks in with 5 minutes to go. The Warriors are down 8, and the kid says, "Warriors are cooked." That's what he says.
Ooh.
Warriors are cooked.
Which one?
And Declan. And I shocker. I snapped. Shocker. I know.
No, not
Shocker.
you, Murph.
I know. I said, what kind of attitude is that? I said, what kind of they're cooked? It's an 8-point game with 5 minutes to go. He goes, and he's like, I know what I'm seeing. And then Al Horford hits a 3 to cut it to 5 or whatever, or 6. I don't know. I'm like, yeah. And then Al Horford hits another one. Then he starts going, oh, and I'm like, oh, where were you a couple minutes ago? So now we're having beef.
Yeah, where were you when Al Horford was taking out the Bruins in 2006?
He wasn't doing the anime. Yes, exactly. Yeah. So what I'm saying is the whole game had that feel of the Warriors are going to lose because this has been this season from hell, 37 wins, Kuminga drama, all the hate for Kerr, hate for Draymond.
Oh, so much hate for Draymond.
The absence of Curry for 27 games, the trade for Porzingis. Everybody's like, yeah, but Porzingis, he's never on the floor, all this stuff. And it culminates in vintage vintage Warriors that creates some of the best memories we've had really since 2022. Honestly, since the NBA Finals, is that the best post? I mean, knocking out Sacramento, maybe?
Yeah.
Game 7 to get to Houston?
I mean,
or
yeah.
knocking out Houston, pardon me, to get to Minnesota?
Taking out Houston last year was a great feeling as well, but I don't know. It seems like everything changed last year once the Jimmy Butler trade happened, and it kind of changed our expectations after making that trade. You can say a similar thing about these Warriors this year. Once the Jimmy Butler injury happened, I think essentially almost everybody wrote off the season, especially when you didn't have Steph Curry out there for nearly 3 months. And it was a bad 3 months of Warriors basketball where they lost a lot of games and they seemed like they weren't even interested in competing as they were just sitting there in play-in purgatory. Then we get the last week and even Draymond Green goes, yeah, I'm just really not that excited for this play-in opportunity. But Draymond Green knows how to turn that switch on when it's in the postseason, when it's in the playoffs, or should I say a play-in game. We've seen flashes throughout the regular season from Draymond Green. Earlier this year against Wemby, even when we were dealing with all the hate for Draymond Green on the text line, I would say, look what Draymond does when he wants to show up. Now, that might be an issue, but he's also 36 years old. You can say the same thing about Al Horford, who's the oldest player ever on a Warriors roster. He showed up last night in the play-in game. That's what this roster was built for. Even with Jimmy Butler being healthy, with Steph Curry being healthy, Al Horford, Draymond Green. I said it yesterday. I'll say it again today. This is an old-ass team, but it's a team that you don't want to play in a do-or-die situation, a March Madness type of environment, a Game 7 type of environment, and that's what it felt like last night for the Warriors as they took down Kawhi and the Clippers.
This was the ultimate proof of the plan. So, like, you have Lacob and Dunleavy in a room and Kerr in a grease board. They're like, if we add Al Horford to Draymond Green and Steph Curry and Kristaps Porzingis and sprinkle in some minutes from Paz and Guy Santos and get to a fourth quarter, and it's on the grease board like a Goodwill Hunting equation, and then at the end they go equals legendary Warriors win. Like, that's what... This is Dunleavy and Lacob saying, see,
yes,
this is what we give you. This is what we built for you guys.
This is a roster that was built for the playoffs, for the postseason. Now, the only problem is we were worried about whether or not they'd even get there.
And it was built to get to the fourth quarter of a game where, oh, you want to go toe-to-toe with us? We'll go toe-to-toe with you. Unbelievable. And that goes with Draymond. I tell you, I know Steph's the easy one because Steph is Steph, and he's one of the greatest human beings in the history of civilization. But Draymond Green. And, dude, I was glued. Once I started noticing about to the 5-6 minute mark, I'm like, is he just on Kawhi like white on rice, bro? Like stink on you know what? Mm-hmm. Oh, my God. And it was an epic performance. He shut him out. Now, I know Kawhi had a garbage layup with 16 seconds to go. I'm not even I'm calling it a shutout.
Doesn't matter.
How do you shut out Kawhi Leonard, bro? He had a great year, Kawhi.
Bro, Kawhi had a phenomenal year, and hopefully maybe next year he's in a Warriors uniform after the way we heard Draymond and Kawhi gushing over each other. But yeah, it got to the point where Draymond Green wouldn't even let Kawhi Leonard touch the ball in the fourth quarter. Like, he iced him out. That's how good he was at just stopping the Clippers' offense, because you stop Kawhi, you stop the Clippers.
So Kawhi, after the game, as Draymond will note, a man of few words, said this.
And just being physical all game, making sure I don't get no catch and shoot shots, blitzing every, pick and roll, getting in the post, seeing two bodies. And then, Draymond, Hall of Fame defender. It was hard to even get shots up.
Damn, Kawhi. And, the pipes, by the way, incredible. And by the way, you see all these things on YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. Tony's putting these things up because he's good like that. Well, somebody relayed to Draymond, Kawhi just said, man, I couldn't get a shot up against you. And Draymond's response was this.
So many times like we have, he know me, I know him. But I definitely watch a lot of film. But more so of him this year, because it took a different Kawhi. The aggressiveness, his shot is as good as it's ever been. His ball handling is as good as it's ever been. To hear one of the greats say that about me, like, man, that's special. That's why you do it. Because you want respect from your peers. And Kawhi he's not just no ordinary peer.
There it is. Yeah, he goes on to say he's a man of few words. And it's true, man. Okay, listen, I know we have an interesting schedule this morning because the Giants game is at 9:40 in Cincinnati. We have pregame at 8:40. And we do have our hit with Matt Mayoko because the NFL draft is a week away. But obviously the Warriors are the big hit. And Marcus, we haven't read – there's so many texts. I just want to get what you guys are saying out there. In the Bay this morning, 408 says the Warriors equals memory making, right? Buster Posey, we're in the memory making business. Here's one for you, Marcus, 510. If the Warriors lose Friday and the Clippers pick to OKC is a top 5, was the win worth it?
Yes.
Okay.
I still think it's worth it.
There's a huge deal here about, Warriors still not going to be, or can the Warriors get in the lottery? And the answer is yes.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. They still have a chance at the lottery. And just because you're in the lottery doesn't mean you're getting the number 1 pick. Like, that's highly unlikely. I know what the Mavericks did last year after trading Luka and getting Cooper Flag. But realistically, that's not in the game plan. That's not something you can rely on. What you can rely on are these type of performances from Steph Curry at age 38. And there's not going to be too many of these left. Or maybe there are at the level he's playing at right now. But last night, to me, was a memory. I'm going to remember this more than any of the 37 wins during the regular season because Steph Curry and Draymond Green made it special for all the Dubs fans out there in the fourth quarter.
And Al Horford, 916 says, as Steph would say, the unks are out, but it was more like the unks are showing out. 925 says, you always try to win, period. Too many fans with a loser's mentality. I have to agree, 925. I've never been a tanker, but to each his own. 831 says, how can Draymond be all ego and humility at the same time? 408 says, Joe's plan, new banger. And 916 says, if the Warriors do get to OKC, do you consider the season a success?
I would say yes.
Yeah.
That was the question that I was pondering a couple weeks ago when you were off. We had Kerry Crowley filling in. Marcus Thompson came on the show, and we discussed that topic, and I think we all agreed. Just making it to the playoffs this year, getting a minimum of 4 games to maybe develop that chemistry between Steph and Porzingis. In my book, after losing Jimmy Butler, this season would be a success.
707 says, Horford brought it last night. 805 says, LOL. We're really acting like Kings fans this morning, celebrating a play-in game against the 9-seed Clippers, followed by 3 laughing emojis at us. Thank you very
damn right.
much.
We lit that beam last night with 916.
650 says, Tom Cruise pounds the table demanding the truth from Jack Nicholson and a few good men. That's pretty good.
You can't handle the truth, Tony.
Mount Pound Table more. Steve Kerr entered it last night.
Yeah, which, by the way, I'm still chuckling at a text we had earlier saying, make sure you don't look up on your work laptop, Mount Pound Table more.
Oh, boy.
That one got me.
That was the first thought I had as well, yeah.
831 says, we need a new remix. Oh, wait, Al hits a 3. Oh, wait,
Al hits
a 3. And then
3.
559, who's a very high-level texter, says, need a new Murph EDM banger. Oh, wait, Al hits a 3. Here we go. 707 says, can I get a Warriors come out to play? 408 says, Warriors! 408 says, I really wanted the loss and the shot at a top 5 pick, but I'll take knocking out the Clippers again and another chance to knock Dylan Brooks out of the playoffs again as consolation.
Bring him on.
He also says Kristaps sure looks good when he can play. And throw Jimmy on that team last night, and you're on to something, which leads us to our final image for your YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. In the glory of last night, in which sports brought us what Marty Lurie would say was orgasmic.
It was.
It's orgasmic.
And he hits the 3, and they're up 120 to 117, and Steph falls into the crowd, and we're all reacting like crazy. And I got to give the Amazon Prime director a ton of credit because they didn't cut to a fan. They didn't cut to Curry. They didn't cut to Kerr. They cut to a man in street clothes named Jimmy Butler, and I thought it was an iconic moment. Dude, there's something about Jimmy. Only Jimmy can wear the hat, the hoodie, and give the look and the nod at Steph, which I think to me is almost a sign for, dare I get ahead of myself, Marcus, and say spring of 2027?
Ooh.
When they'll all be a year older, by the way.
2027.
But I mean, Jimmy will be back.
Yeah.
Everybody look at your YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. We think this is an instant meme. Marcus says when that second plate of Thanksgiving hits the table.
After you go take a walk with the uncles, you come back from seconds, you stare down that spread.
Or you said maybe a Friday night across the bar.
Yeah, exactly. I see a 2 a.m. angel. I start giving that look.
Jimmy's got it, man. Jimmy's got. Only he can create that look. I don't think there's another guy in the NBA who can create that particular hoodie, hat, or a smile.
Some people got it. Jimmy's got it.
And I got to give the Amazon Prime guy a ton of credit. He's like, cut to Jimmy right now. Boom. So that was the perfect, to me, exclamation point on the whole thing. So, all right, that's your big hit. It was really, 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 really fun. And guess what? Game on Friday. And John Dickinson will be there. He's flying to Phoenix. So we'll have Warriors coverage there from the leader, of course. And 7 o'clock on Amazon Prime.
Let's do it.
All right.
Make sure Ben gets a flight down to Phoenix. I need to hear that laugh from the rafters.
Oh, man. All right. We got to squeeze in our regular stuff before the 8:40 pregame, and the Niners draft is a week away. So Matt Mayoko will hit us with a little Niner draft talk, and then 8:40 pregame. How are you feeling about today?
Not great, to be honest.
Okay.
Hey, the Jimmy meme, the Reds looking at the Giants today on the field.
Yeah, throwing that Ben laugh, and you've got yourself a full media production.
Weren't they supposed to be an uncomfortable spot?
Marcus had a great line. The Rockies, like, when do the Rockies come to town, man? And then Marcus is like, well, now the Rockies are like, when do the Giants come to town?
Yeah. Right now, as it is, only Colorado and the White Sox are 6-12. And the Colorado and the White Sox are commonly considered the trash standard of baseball.
I don't want to be sitting at lunch with the Colorado Rockies and Chicago White Sox.
12. The Mets do have 12 losses too, but they have one more win. They're 7-12. So 12 losses for the Mets. And then teams, if you're just looking for misery, 11 lost teams, only one ahead of the Warriors. Include teams like the Seattle Mariners, and I've been hearing it from Clayton Wu, Brian's dad, who's a listener. He's like, man, we ain't happy in Seattle either.
People are ripping Cal Raleigh like he's Patrick Bailey.
Did you see what happened to them last night? They had a 6-2 lead on the Padres in the 9th inning.
Oh, and they blew
Andres
it.
Munoz coughed up 5 in the bottom. And dude, I'm getting sick of the Petco and the walk-offs and all that. Hey, win something. Don't give me this slam Diego. Holy sheets. You know what? You guys have won jack in your entire career. Oh, Petco's the best. No, it's not the best.
Honoring the Padres.
It's a nice park. It's a really nice park. It's a fun park. It ain't even close to Oracle. I'm here to tell you that right now. And I've been down there. I had it now. I had it. Because I'm seeing it all on my Twitter feed. Oh, another great Don Orsillo call. The Padres. Dude, they've never even... What? They went to the series in like 98?
And they lost.
To your Yankees.
Yeah, sorry, Bochy.
Don't give me holy sheets. Holy shit. Stop it. Bunch of freaking posers down there.
Go yourself.
Yeah, I mean, honestly. Yeah, it's a nice park. No, don't get me wrong. The mariachi band, it's all great. It ain't Oracle, bro. It ain't even close to Oracle. Now, would I take their team? Yeah. But stop crowning them. Don't you want to crown them?
You want to crown them?
Then crown their ass, all right? Anyway, Mariners blew a 6-2 lead in the 9th inning last night on the Padres. By the way, the Giants took 2 or 3 from the Padres.
Honoring the Padres.
Honoring the Padres.
We have no time for Matt Mayoko next on the Sports Leader.
Honoring the Padres.
All right, El Cerrito Honda, man, get in your car and just, take a victory drive for the Warriors in your El Cerrito Honda. They are Warriors fans over at El Cerrito Honda, of course. Sharif and the crew, they're happy too. So am I, because I love my 2025 Honda CR-V Hybrid that I got from El Cerrito Honda. So go over there. Say, I heard you guys are Warriors fans. I heard you guys are Giants fans. I heard you guys are 49ers fans. Let's talk, and let's get a great car too, because the spring event is in full swing at El Cerrito Honda. Spring in. Get your next Honda Civic Hybrid, your Honda Accord Hybrid, your Honda CR-V Hybrid. Their CR-V is really nice these days, man. Over 600 miles in range, so you do not have to get crushed at the pump. Save every single time you're driving that hybrid. All right, where is El Cerrito Honda? It's in, spoiler, El Cerrito, California, right off of 80. Easy to find on San Pablo Avenue. Here's the address, 11755 San Pablo Avenue. Online 24/7 at elcerritohonda.com. That's elcerritohonda.com. Tell them your boy Murph sent you. Say hi, because El Cerrito Honda is more than just a car dealership. We're family.
And now it's time for the Protect Your Assets Business and Technology Report with me, David Hollander.
Now back to Murph and Marcus on the Sports Leader. Streaming live on thesportsleader.com and KNBR. The Sports Leader app. Murph and Marcus is sponsored by Bigelow Tea. Grab a mug and tea proudly.
All right, early schedule today. Giants 9:40 a.m. I know. Insert joke here. 9:40 a.m., 8:40 a.m. pregame.
King Giants.
Landon Roop today, though, huh?
Roop, there it is.
They got a chance.
Roop, there it is.
Noted suffering Giants fan and longtime 49ers beat writer Matt Mayoko for NBC Sports Bay Area, our 49ers insider for these sports leaders. So, Matty, we're on a tight schedule. You're on the YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. You can see his handsome face right there. Good morning, Matt. 1 week from the draft. How you doing?
Hey, what's up, Matt?
I'm doing well. You're on a tight schedule. Were you getting ready to start this segment without me, just like how the Giants start innings without their right fielder?
Hey, nice.
There it is, Matty.
Nice.
There it is.
I like that. Very, very good. Yes, run out there,
Thank
Matty.
you.
Run out there.
Yes, run out there. Okay.
Oh, man.
Yeah, grab a glove, Matty.
Our question is simple. We're 1 week away. Who are the 49ers going to draft? I guess I'll twist it a little bit. So the 49ers have the 27th pick. They also have the 58th pick the next day. So given that they have 27 and 58, can you give us the first two positions the 49ers will draft?
Let's do it this way. I'm going to say that two of the three positions will be among edge rusher, going offensive line. Oh, man. And then I guess wide receiver.
But you're like,
no,
you cover this team.
No.
You live this team 365 days a year. You're guessing?
Well, and that's exactly what I think this draft is, because they only have the 6 picks. And the only real glaring need that they have as far as they need a starter. They don't have a starter. That's left guard. The question is, would they be in a position where they could, in essence, kill two birds with one stone with that draft pick? If they could draft a guy, assuming, of course, that Trent Williams is back, could they draft a guy who plays left guard early in his career until he's needed at left tackle? And there are some candidates out there who could do that. Caleb Lomu from Utah was just in at the 49ers facility for a visit this week. He's a possibility, someone who could do that. As far as future left tackles, the guy from Arizona State, Max Ianachor, is someone who could be very young, growing, learning the game. He could definitely use a year before they slide him into left tackle. But then, I'm thinking about the other positions. I mentioned edge rusher. Of course they need an edge rusher. They had 20 sacks on the season last year. And yes, Bosa coming back will help them. Michael Williams coming back, that helps him, but he's not going to be a huge sack volume guy. So they need something there to just affect the quarterback. The other position, I didn't mention this, but wide receiver is a spot where they did sign Mike Evans and Christian Kirk, but those guys are basically on 1-year contracts. So they're going to need another wide receiver. Can you get that guy in the 4th round? Perhaps you can. The other spot where I do think that there's an opening for a starter is safety. I know that they like Malik Mustafa. They have invested mid-round picks in the safety position each of the past 3 years with Jair Brown, Malik Mustafa, and Marquise Siegel. But I just don't know that they feel like they have a difference maker there lining up alongside Malik Mustafa. So that would be my dark horse pick, where if a guy like Emmanuel McNeil Warren is there at 27 from Toledo, that would not surprise me. So in other words, Murph, it's wide open what they can do at 27 and 58.
Okay.
Well, Maddie, you mentioned it. The Niners only have 6 draft picks this year, that first rounder, the second rounder, and then 4 fourth rounders. Do you think it's possible that we see any movement on draft day, whether that's moving down and maybe picking up a third round pick or pairing up some of those fourth rounders that they have?
Yeah, it's possible. Here's a scenario that I think it makes sense for the 49ers, and it makes sense for the Arizona Cardinals. They did have Ty Simpson from Alabama, the quarterback, in for a visit on the final day that visits are allowed, which clearly sends a pretty strong signal once word gets out of that. The Arizona Cardinals don't have a quarterback that they could consider a long-term guy. Gardner Minshew and Jacoby Brissett are their quarterbacks right now. What if the Arizona Cardinals, who own the 3rd pick, that's too early to take Ty Simpson, but the 34th pick makes a lot of sense. Ty Simpson going to be there at 34. What if they made a phone call to the 49ers and said, hey, how about if we trade up to 27, you go back to 34, throw in a 4th and a 5th, and those would be picks early in those rounds. I think that's in an area where the 49ers wouldn't mind doing something like that, because I'm not sure that they lose all that much by dropping back 7 picks at that spot in the draft. And then you pick up just more draft picks. So instead of 6 picks, you have 8 picks, and a lot of them, 6 of them are clustered right there in the 4th and the beginning of the 5th round.
Talking to Matt Mayoko, who covers the 49ers at NBC Sports Bay Area. He's our 49ers insider for the sports leader. We go draft. It's like something on the Niners other than the draft. Hey, anything on Roger Goodell and Kyle Shanahan having a beef over Australia? Anything on that?
Yeah, no, I think, that 49ers have been pretty, I think they feel like they've gotten the short end of the stick with a lot of the scheduling, especially last year when they played, 3 games in 13 days, and 3 of their last 4 games were on short weeks. So I don't think they were too thrilled about opening the season in Australia while also going to Mexico City later in the year. So I mean, that is what it is. And I know Shanahan said it, I think tongue in cheek about, well, if we're playing the Rams in Australia, then why don't we play the Rams in Mexico City too, to have them have the same kind of travel schedule. I think that would be counterproductive for the 49ers to do that, to give up, a home game at Levi Stadium, home crowd advantage, home field advantage against one of your top rivals in the NFC. And by the way, what I understand is that game in Mexico City, there are some, the 49ers did block the Raiders. They did block the Denver Broncos. So it certainly won't be those teams. Kind of the word at the NFL annual meeting was that the Miami Dolphins were the team that people were starting to think could be the 49ers matchup in Mexico City.
No Los Raiders versus Los Niners. Yeah, they feared Los Raiders, Mexico Nation is what they feared. So, hey, I know we're up against it, Matt, but just the last 20 seconds. Hey, your reaction to KNBR and the 49ers extending through 2030, buddy? We get more
I
of
love
you.
It. Yeah. Oh, boy, here we go. Yeah, maybe they'll make a phone call to Bob Sargent, and he can tell me who they're going to pick at 27.
Well, I'm not going to ask you
guys.
I'm not going to catch you so flat-footed next time, buddy. All right.
Well, I mean, you know what, Murph? I've been talking. There's so much when you look at this draft. There really are. With 26 picks ahead of them, there's just going to be a lot of unexpected things, I think, in this draft, because it's not. I mean, most drafts aren't clear-cut, but I think this is even less clear-cut than that. And the 49ers do, I think positional value to some degree kind of goes out the window in this draft. And there are I would say 4 spots, 4 positions that the 49ers could draft, and it's just a matter of who they believe will be ultimately the better player.
All right, good stuff, Matty. The Giants are calling. We get to go watch the Giants play baseball.
Great.
So,
all right. Morning baseball. Gotta love it.
I know you'll be listening. Thanks for the time.
Thanks, Matt.
Okay, thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Matt Mayoko, Giants pregame coming up at 8:40 on the Sports Leader.
Now back to Murph and Marcus on the Sports Leader. Streaming live on thesportsleader.com and KNBR. The Sports Leader app. Murph and Marcus is sponsored by Bigelow Tea. Grab a mug and tea proudly.
Oh, listen to that. That's from Darren Shan.
Series against the Pittsburgh Pirates. No
Oh, man. You guys want to know what it was like?
Every seat.
What's there was a meme recently like, what were you like in the 90s? Have you guys seen that on Instagram?
Yeah.
And like these people are running, what was mom like in the 90s? And they play that to frickin' whatever song by Goo Goo Dolls or whatever. And I don't want the world to see me, that whole thing. And like, well, if you kiddos say, hey, Unc Murph, what were you like in the early 80s? This is it, bro.
Well, man, Murph, I'll tell you, if I want to experience some of these prices from the 80s with half-price ticket night and a half-price beer night, I might just go out to Cincinnati on a Tuesday. Not sure if you saw my tweet last night.
That text resonated with my 18-year-old. He goes, did you see Marcus's text?
Yeah.
I was like, tweet. I'm like, what, you're preferring Boucher's tweets to your old man's? And he goes, no, man, it's just incredible. And I said, I can't believe it's true.
Yeah, so I saw this, and I had to double-check. I even went to AI to confirm. The Cincinnati Reds do a promotion on Tuesdays. It's a Tuesday night special. Shout out to the Oakland A's when they used to do promos on Tuesday nights. A lot of ball clubs do this. But they do a 3-2-1 Tuesdays promotion where beers are $3, hot dogs are $2, and ice cream cups are only $1.
Well, no, forget the ice cream.
Oh, what do you mean? I want the ice cream. I want the ice cream, too.
I think it was going dog and beer.
Well, like, here's the thing, dude. I can get a hot dog, I can get a beer, and I can get an ice cream less than I can buy a pack of peanuts at Oracle Park.
Larry, you are correct on that, by the way. Larry Bear, who probably we should let we should probably put a little distance for a few weeks here because we had to ask him some questions today.
He got the short straw today.
He did, and we had to ask him what's going on. And by the end, it got a little maybe less than super warm and friendly.
Absolutely.
But anyway, he has asked us to present him with a proposal. Now, again, he, like a businessman, his immediate thing was after the All-Star break. I was like, wait, what? What happened to April, May, and June? Well, after the All-Star, he said, give us a reasonable proposal. So it's up to us, man. It's up to us. Now, they like money. Gene Simmons would say, if he was running the Giants, he would say, why would you lower beer prices? I mean, if you're going to if you're going to take your lessons from anyone, take them from the hottest man in the world, right?
Anybody that tells you that they want less money in life, be suspicious of this person. This is a liar. Everybody wants more money. I just want enough money. You're full of shit. It's never enough. You know when it's enough? When you're dead. That's when it's enough.
Okay, was that Gene Simmons or Giants ownership?
Yeah.
So
I couldn't tell the difference.
All right.
Now, real quick, I know this is Giants pregame, but I do have one quick digression for a future idea for Larry Bear and those beer prices. I was just scrolling around Reddit the other day, and I ended up in a hockey subreddit, and a guy pitched the idea of dynamic beer pricing, where the prices of beers are factored in for your win-loss record on the season.
Perfect.
And I was like, that's a great idea. If my team sucks, I want cheap beers.
That's it.
If I have the best team in baseball, then I'm willing to pay $20 for a beer.
That's it right there. We have our answer.
Dynamic beer pricing.
Pending the record after the All-Star break.
And right now, when they're 6-12, I want a couple dollars off that beer.
Which could be brutal, man. All right, Tone, we got 2 minutes to squeeze this in. Let's go.
Murph and Marcus want to know, what did young Tony learn today?
Well, so the joke is he's very, very young and innocent.
Hey, I know that now, okay?
All right, Young Tone, it's sponsored by Bigelow Tea. Grab a mug and tea proudly. We have 90 seconds. It could be anything.
I only need 60.
There you go. Anything you want, buddy. What was the best thing today that hopped out at you?
Maybe it was Jimmy Butler on the sidelines. I don't think we've ever seen him courtside for any game after his injury.
So this is, you have to go to YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. As we tell the kids when we do appearances, what do you do for a living, Unc? I'm a YouTuber.
We're on YouTube.
Because if you say, I'm on a radio show, they're like, huh? I'm done. Anyway, I just got to give the Amazon Prime guy all the credit in the world who cut to Jimmy. This look is incredible. This is him after Steph hits the three to go to 120-117. Ty Lue calls timeout, and Amazon goes, cut to Jimmy. There it is.
And this is the type of look that I would have on my face walking into the Great American Ballpark to see $3 beers on a Tuesday. That's how I would be staring down the concession stand.
Well, Jimmy's a good-looking guy, number one. You got to be handsome to pull it off. Two, you got to have that hat. That's not like a dad hat kind of. It's not a snapback. It's a hood. First of all, is he going to get fined because you're supposed to be a dress code? He's wearing a hoodie.
Damn, Jimmy.
There's no dress code in the NBA.
Remember they had it because remember AI and them were showing up in sweatsuits and stuff.
They stopped kind of enforcing that a couple years ago.
Well, he looks cool. He is cool, and that meme is phenomenal. It says a lot of things. It says, "Hey, Batman, what's up?" It also says, "Hey, I'll see you next year.
Yeah.
I'll see you next January."
He put up the bat signal last night for Steph.
All right, good job, Toad. All right, well, that was fun, man. That was good. That's what we all learned today, that Jimmy Butler is cool. All right, man, here's the deal. Giants pregame from Cincinnati, and Marcus and I get to do it. Giants, Reds, baseball coming up now on the Sports Leader.
One last time from Cincinnati before heading to the nation's capital. It's the Giants and the Reds. It's a salvage operation for the Giants as they try to win one for the road. They're going to send Landon Roop to the mound, and the Reds, they'll send right-hander Chase Burns. His fastball is averaging 99 miles an hour so far this year. I'm FP Santangelo alongside Joe Ritzo. Giants need to win big time. It's morning baseball on the radio, and the Giants pregame show starts right now.
Kill it goodbye, number 600 for Willie Mays, and the bye-bye baby bonanza.
Now, Brian Murphy turns back the clock with this date in Giants history.
27 years of waiting have come to an end. The Giants have won the pennant.
Sponsored by Amici's East Coast Pizzeria. When you want the best pizza in town, Amici's delivers.
Swing and a miss, and that's it. Cabrera takes strike 3 called. They have won the World Series for the 3rd time in 5 years.
On your proud home for Giants baseball, the sports leader.
Hey, everybody, it is April 16th in Giants history. Let's go back to a really good year, 2002. What a team. Go to the World Series National League champs, and you know who was a part of it? The catcher, Benito Santiago. He was a really good Giant. So was the starting pitcher for that day, Kirk Reeder. Spoiler alert, if you know I mentioned Kirk Reeder, the Giants are going to win the game. So Reeder and the Giants are in San Diego. So where, Giants sometimes feel pretty good because they have some fans down there. Future Giant Brett Tomko was pitching for the Padres. Giants get on the board first. Jeff Kent, he was a big 0-2 Giant, hit a sac fly to score. You ready for it? Tsuyoshi Shinjo. Yeah, Shinjo. Remember him? So now we go to the 6th. Giants are up 1-0. But here he comes. The former Padre himself. Great pickup by Brian Sabian. Benito Santiago.
There goes Bell, the pitch. Santiago swings, and it's a high drive deep into right center field. Going back is Klesko, all the way back to the wall, and that ball is gone. A home run for Benito Santiago. Adios, pelota. And the Giants lead 3-0.
Great call, John Miller. Interesting, Benito, former Padre, homering for the Giants, over the head of Ryan Klesko, current Padre, future Giant. Listen, that's baseball. Players move around. Great swing by Santiago, and Kirk Reeder does the rest. Of course he did. Woody, win day. Remember Dusty would rub his ears? Kirk Reeder, 7 innings of shutout ball. Let's go. Just mixing and matching, pitching under that hitting speed. Giants win 5-1 at San Diego, and that's on April 16th, 2002. Oh, before we go on this date, in 2004, was that epic Barry Bonds, Eric Gagne, 7-pitch at bat with all of San Francisco standing and cheering that ended with Bonds homering off of Gagne. Giants did lose that game 3-2, but kids, go look that one up on YouTube. That's really fun. That all happened on April 16th, and this has been Brian Murphy with this date in Giants history. All right, our first talk back of the season, and it's with our friend Joe Ritzo, who's out in Cincinnati, bright and early, assuming it's a sunny day out there. A good day, Joe, to break a 4-game losing streak. Good morning, it's Murph and Marcus. How you doing, man?
Hey, morning, Joe.
Well, good morning. How are we doing today, guys?
Well, we were talking a lot of Warriors today, Joe. I guess DC was saying you guys, a lot of people in the Giants traveling party were tuned in to the Warrior game.
Well, you're out here on the East Coast. The West Coast game started 10 p.m. What's that about? I had it on. I flipped it off at the end of the third quarter. Warriors were down 6, had to get to bed because it was an early start. How did it finish?
We got some good news for you, buddy.
Yeah, I woke up and it was a very pleasant surprise.
Yeah, so maybe the Giants can be inspired by that. So, well, let's get ready for today's game. I mean, 4-game losing streak. After the game, Tony Vitello had an interesting comment. We haven't talked much about it today because we've been doing all Warriors, but he said when JT Brubaker got into a little bit with the home plate ump and Spencer Steer, he said, there's a little bit of the fire. I'm paraphrasing what Tony said, but he said, I like to see what I saw out there. He goes, maybe we need a little bit more of that edge. Did you see that quote and have any thoughts?
Yeah, I did see it. I think we're starting to see and feel that frustration. Obviously, this team isn't happy with how these first 18 games have gone. We saw Devers break the bat after he struck out in his first trip yesterday, and I thought he responded well after that with 3 excellent at-bats. So, yeah, and I think the manager noting Brubaker and maybe playing with that edge. Guys are ticked off. They should be. I mean, nobody is happy and really saw this kind of start going. There was a lot of great energy and optimism. Players were healthy coming out of camp. You got a new manager, a new coaching staff. You feel like you got kind of a new plan about how you're going to attack things, and it just hasn't worked out yet in these first 3 weeks. So you're looking for any kind of spark maybe that can get this group going. Maybe that could be it. And, we'll see. I think it's so important for this team to have something positive happen early in a ball game. I mean, that was great, I think, what Tony was talking about yesterday. But, look, the Giants were already down by 5-6 runs when it happened. Whatever it might be, Giants score first, manufacture a run in the first or second inning, get an early shutdown inning from a starting pitcher, just, get the ball rolling in the first, second, third inning of a game. And play from ahead and just start feeling a little bit better about your chances, because the Giants, these first few weeks, they fall behind early and just haven't been able to dig themselves out, and last night was another example of that.
Joe, we saw a couple of new faces in the lineup yesterday for the Giants. Will Brennan and Drew Gilbert, 2 left-handed bats. They're back in the lineup today, but we also saw how it opened up some options later in the game for guys like Elliot Ramos and Gerard Encarnacion to get some pinch hit at bats. What do you think those 2 roster additions can do for Tony Vitello and the overall roster flexibility?
Yeah, obviously it's better balance, and you can use the bench a little better, and it worked perfectly in that inning yesterday. Would have been nice to get maybe one more hit after that to then feel like you're truly back in the game and you have a chance in the late innings. I think we all understood kind of the thought process behind the roster construction coming out of camp. The way that Jared Oliva performed in the spring, and the want and desire to get faster and more athletic and have that pinch running weapon that you could go to in the 8th or 9th innings maybe to steal a base. It worked beautifully in the spring. Giants just haven't found themselves in that spot enough, and obviously Oliva got hurt now. So get a little bit more balanced. You can use that bench. It was kind of our first opportunity to see Tony Vitello utilize a bench like that and play some matchups, and it worked out well. And I look at today's matchup against Chase Burns, the flame-throwing right-handed Reds starting pitcher. I mean, 98, 99 he averages with his fastball, but his actually best pitch this year, which is saying something when you've got a fastball at 99, has been a slider, and it has been just lethal against right-handed hitting. So it's nice to be able to counter today with 6 left-handed bats. There's something the Giants haven't been able to do yet in these first 3 weeks. So he's playing the matchups again today. Get Gilbert out there, get Brennan back out there and left, and let's see what happens.
Good stuff with Joe Ritzo. We'll be back with part 2 of our Talkback. Murph and Marcus do the morning show, Giants pregame on the Sports Leader. All right, we're back doing the Giants pregame from Cincinnati. It's always special when the morning show gets to do it with Joe Ritzo in Cincinnati. First pitch at 9:40. Listen, big picture here. Landon Roop's on the mound today, and the Giants are 6-12, Joe. And the Giants game notes has some notes that are interesting. That they were 6-12 as recently as 3 years ago, which is kind of shocking. And actually, they fell to 6-13 before they actually got over 500 by late May. So, I don't know, Joe. I don't want to be Pollyanna here because I'm as frustrated as anybody, but is there a lesson in there?
Yeah, that it's still pretty early. Now, what you don't want to have happen is this last week that the Giants have endured, you don't want it to snowball, so then you're 10, 12 games under as you get into May. I mean, then you're in full-on panic mode. So you need to stop this as soon as possible, obviously, but you know, I look around baseball right now. You grab the standings. I mean, the Blue Jays are 7-10. The Mariners are 8-11. I mean, that was the matchup in the ALCS last year. Granted, two teams that have a much better recent track record than the Giants going back to last year. I mean, the Mets haven't won in a week and a half. The Phillies are well under 500. So all teams that are expected to do big things this year. So it is, I think, just an example that it is only April the 16th. What is the frustrating part is there are elements of the way the Giants have been playing that you need to see a vastly improved performance. I mean, the run differential isn't good. Giants aren't drawing walks. They're getting some hits. They're not drawing walks. And while the batting average with runners on and with runners in scoring position is actually pretty good, they're just not putting themselves in enough of those opportunities to actually do a whole lot of damage. So, the fact that, again, there's still a lot of season left, but I look at these next couple of weeks. You still have a chance to win some ball games, have a decent road trip. You're going to get home for a week after this. Giants need to turn this around sooner rather than later. Because eventually it will become too big of a hole to climb out of. But you're right. It's a good example of it was just 3 years ago. The Giants were 6-12. A month plus later, they were above 500. If memory serves, they got well over 500 at some point in the summer in 2023, and were in a playoff position there for a while before obviously things fell apart in September, and it resulted in a managerial change at the end of that year. So lots of twists and turns, ups and downs, the roller coaster ride, and when you start slow, it it kind of just amplifies everything, and that's what the Giants are dealing with right now.
9 innings of fun and drama await. We will look forward to your call, Joe. And by the way, happy birthday to Bruce Bochy, right? 71 today. And shout out to whoever does is it Mike Passanisi, who has the funny game notes? In which his lead on the Giants' losing streak was "Be a Goldfish," but the one for Bochy was "If you need,
a beer, grab a beer."
There it is.
Yeah, love it. Giants are going to get it done. Bochy's birthday, got to make it happen.
And then crack a cold one on the plane to D.C. So, all right, Joe. Thanks for that. We'll look forward to the call. Thanks for the hit.
Yeah, thanks, Joe.
All right, thank you, guys.
Giants pregame Diamond Notes will continue on the Sports Leader.
If you need a beer, grab a beer.
It's always a treat when we get to do the morning hit. I don't think I'm looking here at the schedule here, Marcus. Do we get one? Dude, our next one we'll do is in August when they're in Cleveland. So let's treasure this moment.
What a gift, as Harrison Bader would say.
Oh, boy. Yeah, let's move on.
Yeah.
Starting pitchers, Diamond Notes are sponsored by Benjamin Moore Paints. Experience the Benjamin Moore retail difference at our independently owned authorized retailers today or at benjaminmoore.com. We didn't get to this with Joe Ritzo, but today's starter's Landon Roop. That's become good news for us. He takes a 3.24 ERA to the mound against the Reds. He looks to keep the good times rolling. 2 road starts this year, Marcus. 2-0 with an 0.75. 12 innings pitched, 1 earning. 11 strikeouts, 4 walks, only 7 hits allowed. Now, the bad news, that's the good news. Bad news is the Reds are countering with a dude. 23-year-old Chase Burns, one of their hot prospects. He's got a 3-3-1 taking the mound against the Giants. He did get touched a little bit by the Angels of all teams. 5 1/3. He gave up 5 earnings and only struck out 2. So let's follow the Halos, Marcus.
Yes, great pitching matchup between Landon Roop and Chase Burns, and that's why the keys to the game, sponsored exclusively by Stevens Creek Lincoln. Experience luxury on your terms at Stevens Creek Lincoln. Buckle up and drive safely. The key to the game is the Giants bullpen, Murph. Over the last 7 games dating back to April 7th, the bullpen has a 2.57 ERA with 23 strikeouts, 10 walks, and have only allowed 2 home runs. Giants relievers have been perfect over the last day or so, going 15 for 15 and throwing first pitch strikes in their 4 innings of work yesterday. In the series overall, they are 8 for 10 in throwing the first strike, Murph. You know the most important pitch in baseball is strike 1.
That's why that guy named his dog Strike 1, because he said his dog and strike 1 are the 2 most important things in his life. Finally, Hitting the Lumber, sponsored by Golden State. When you succeed, we succeed. Visit us today at goldenstatelumber.com. Well, Curly did the notes. He went to Devers. Rafael Devers. He says his numbers against righties are better. He's hitting .296, 8 for 27, and he hasn't hit a home run of late since the Philly game last week. But when he does, since joining the Giants last June, the Giants are 14-6 when he homers. How about leaving the yard, kid? Why not? So that's part 1 of Diamond Notes. We'll be back with more Diamond Notes as the pregame continues. All right, Murph and Mark is back with Diamond Notes, and here I am. Dude, don't trust me for anything. I was trying to find the next time we get to do a game, and I'm like, yeah, there's not till August when they're in Cleveland, and Danny Dunn just texted and said, yeah, you have one in 2 weeks. Oh. Yeah, 2 weeks there, Tony. So, hey, listen, I was scanning the schedule. It was live radio. Take it easy, Danny Dunn. Jeez, you and your facts.
And now you got Ben laughing at you over here.
It's again. Ben made the pregame. Time for the X Factor, sponsored by Casino Matrix. Casino Matrix progressive jackpots are here. Where are you? Just drop in. Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Jung-Hoo Lee. Marcus and I were just talking about him. Off air. Now it's on air. He's got 3 multi-hit games so far in this roadie. He's 10 for 30 in 8 road games this year. 5 extra base hits. That's an X factor, Marcus.
Are we talking multiple hit games? Well, then why not look at the player to bank on, sponsored by Poppy Bank. Located throughout California, Poppy Bank is here to help you hit your financial goals. Members FDIC, equal housing lender, and the player to bank on, Luis Ariz. This is a guy that is 4 games away from approaching 300 career multi-hit games. He's currently at 296. Let's make it 297 today. He has hit safely in 13 of his first 17 games this season. That's good enough for a 333 batting average.
Don't forget it. They didn't want him, the masses.
Nobody wanted him. I wanted him.
We got a little homestand road trip update sponsored by SFO, San Francisco International Airport. Big league travel starts here. Step up to the plate with SFO. And on this road trip, Giants have lost 4 straight. Second time this season. Also happened April 3rd through 6th. The Giants do aim to stave off, good word, Curly, a sweep today in Cincinnati after dropping last night's game 8-3 and Monday 2-1. That's your homestand road trip update. Bring us home, Marcus.
And last but not least, the out-of-town scoreboard sponsored by NorCal Toyota. Let's go places with Toyota out-of-town scoreboard. We've got some early baseball this morning. The Washington Nationals are taking on the Pittsburgh Pirates at 9:35. The Pittsburgh Pirates have gone 6-3 in home games. They are 11-7 overall. And it seems like every single day they got a new pitching prospect. Braxton Ashcraft on the mound today. He's a hell of a pitcher, but why not give a little bit of love to the kid out of Cupertino, California, Midi High School, Chris Bubich, today starting for the Kansas City Royals. They're taking on the Detroit Tigers at 10:10 a.m., and then John Joe Curley had to squeeze in a little Yankees and Angels action at 10:35 this morning. Mike Trout might be the hottest player in baseball. He's got 4 home runs in his last 3 games. Hell of a matchup between the former Captain America, Mike Trout, taking on the captain of Team USA, Aaron Judge.
Well done with the 408 shout out. And that's it for our Diamond Notes. Around the Park is next as Giants pregame continues.